Hey everybody, it is Tuesday. It's From the Barracks. I am Joker Players Wanted. With me, it's not a party till the Weiner comes out. Weiner from
Happy New Year.
Productions. Now, with us, unfortunately, Sin's not going to be here today. He's going to be traveling on the road, and Buck also has something going on. But we do have a special
you're
guest
stuck
today.
With me then? Well, shit.
No, not just you. We also have Trent here from Titan Power. How you doing,
Hey,
Trent?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. How you doing? Happy New Year, man.
Thank you. You too.
Happy New Year to everybody. Sorry we did not go streaming last week. It was just before the new year, and my house is a little construction zone right now. Happy New Year's. Tubbs is back. Happy New Year's, everybody. And I'm no longer like in Facebook jail. Facebook realized they screwed up and they reinstated me. Yay.
Nice.
All right.
You just said they screwed up.
Well, no, they admitted they screwed up and they said, we got this wrong. We're restoring your videos. Here you go. So it was, I don't know about you guys, but my New Year's was great. And there's an annual tradition that we always do, which I'm going to show here because I can, of how we get rid of we cleanse the last year and we spring in the new year. Here we go.
That's a good burner this year.
If you ever wonder why you make sure that you have your trees plenty of water throughout the time it's in your house, that tree went up in seconds and burned over almost 1,000 degrees. And
you're renovating your house anyway, so it's no big deal.
I know, right? But this year was kind of interesting because we had last year, 4th of July, we only had 3 neighbors competing of who spent the most on fireworks. This year was 15. So every year we burn our Christmas tree as our fireworks and go from there. So let's jump right into this and talk about a couple things. Before we jumped over to talk about all things Titan and Trent, somebody asked me to elaborate on something that happened at Syndicate 2 where people thought that Phantom of the Opera, a fan of the Airsoft, got into a fight at the event. He did not. We misidentified him because the person that got into the altercation with another player looked almost identical to him. So if you guys are like messaging Phantom saying, "Why'd you get into a fight? Please stop." He wasn't even at the event that weekend.
This is doppelganger.
Yeah, I swear it looked just like him. That's why I said I can't believe Phantom of the Airsoft got into a thing like this. Turns out later it was Josh. So when I said it over his name was Josh, the guy that got into it. So it wasn't him, but it looked just like him. So let's jump into this. Trent, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
I want to preface this by saying this all started because I got a defective Titan battery. And I decided to reach out to the company, and like, nobody's perfect, but the way people respond is what matters. And so I tried reaching out because I had one. It must have been in the same batch because I bought 2 batteries side by side into the same failure point. So I got one returned. You guys did an awesome job returning the first battery and getting that all sorted out. The second battery, I was like, look, I need to talk to somebody. I don't think they know about this weak point. And so I called, made multiple phone calls to every option on the line. And then at one point, I was like, forget it. I'll just go online. I couldn't get everybody on the phone. So I was like, I'll just go ahead and file another warranty claim. No big deal. But like 10 minutes after I made the phone call, Trent called me. And he's like, yeah, somebody called me from this number. And I explained the situation with the battery. And we were on the phone for like an hour and a half talking Airsoft. So the response that you had for the passion of the batteries and Airsoft is pretty impressive. And I'm glad you decided to come on because I want you to talk about some of this. But explain a little bit about Titan, the stuff that you guys do, and then especially your response after that, because it goes through. Now, periodically, Trent, we are gonna be interrupted by the chat. We interact with chat quite a bit, and it's already kicking. Shut up, Stu. That's our
Stu actually has a father. Thought he was hatched.
Hello, Garcia. How you doing? Battle Buddy Initiative. Tubbs, Smurf, Yusuf. Let's see here. You guys, you're older. All right, Trent. So let's talk about these batteries and let's talk about some of this stuff because your response was absolutely fantastic.
Well, thank you, man. It's we're so passionate about what we do, and when someone shares that passion, is willing to call and say, hey, I'm having problems and this isn't cool, and that's just, well, we're not happy to hear that, obviously, but it's really good to connect with someone like yourself who's willing to be a part of the solution, and because that's something that we can run with. And so yeah, so the story, I think actually I was building a new studio. We're building a new studio we can shoot videos in, and I got a call, and I was literally on a ladder screwing some siding into the wall, so I couldn't answer. So as soon as I got down from the ladder, called you back. And Mark, it took a second to understand like how, like, you'd had this happen a couple of times. I was like, okay, something's up. And then I could hear from just the way you were talking about it, that you were really passionate about getting a solution, and not just just complaining or and didn't just want a replacement. This was like, hey, I want this to be resolved. And that's gold, because now I know that I can talk to someone openly, directly, transparently about transparently. That is a word. Anyway, I don't know if that's a word or not. You may have to search that one up. Yeah, so this is something we've had. We have about 1% warranty. About 1% of our batteries come back for some reason. But this is a common one, and so it was good to connect to someone like yourself who I could trust to be honest about exactly what you had done to it. I'm kidding, but it's like, all right, let's resolve that. And so as soon I had good conversation, and so that same day we sat down with the team, had a conversation. The next day, I think it was like a Thursday. Friday we talked again, did some tests, and then was it Monday? I don't even know. It's been
It was fast. I mean, look, I'll give you. Let me see what the call log says. Hold on.
I don't remember. It's been a couple of days. It was last year, right? It's a bad.
Yeah, I know, right?
Anyway, but so we basically right away were able to sit down with the team. We resolved it and went into production with a resolution that same day. And I think we've been a couple of days now, so we got a couple thousand units with that resolved. And it's crazy. I think it used to break. I have to do some conversions really quick. We do kilograms. Don't hate me. So it used to break with about 15 pounds of force. That top terminal. This here, I got a battery right here.
Yeah.
So this guy here, one of these joints is unfortunately common to have this break if you pulled it or just honestly just flexed it enough times, especially it would eventually fatigue and just break. And we got it now to where it will take 77 pounds. And so
awesome.
It's what's really cool. What we want to do, I can't commit to it 100% quite yet, but we want to do where there's two, I want to put one of these, two of these, one in each hand, throw it over a pull-up bar and hold it like this and just do a few pull-ups.
Yeah, if I do that, I don't care how strong you make it, I'm breaking it.
But see, 77 times 4.
For that.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
So we talked on Thursday, December 22nd. And you responded, and that's when we had our long call. On Wednesday, the 28th, you said, "Hey, I have a fix. Can you?" I was like, "Hope your event and your Christmas will have a major update for you when you get a moment." We had a phone call, and then you told me about how you already fixed it. That now it wasn't my idea that you guys had, but it was the catalyst, like one of the catalysts of me saying, "Hey, I want this," because I mean, just like anybody else, it would just suck to be out on the field all of a sudden. Why the hell is my gun not working? And then and it's like, why is my batteries not working? And go through, and it was probably just a fluke because I buy the stuff in bulk. I don't buy just one-offs or anything else. I usually buy, like, when it comes to batteries, it's like, all right, well, if I'm buying a battery, I'll buy 2 or 3 because if I need one, I'm going to need more, especially since, I'm in charge of my team and everything else and making sure they're equipped because those bastards forget about stuff all the time.
Their problems are your problems. That's a team.
A lot of times I find, like, if there's a production run equality issue, I'll find it because I get 3 or 4 of the same one. And it's like, hey, wait a second, that's off. But like each time that we talk on the phone, it's never short. Today was because I was like, hey, my mom's calling, I got to go. But the fact that you guys jumped right into coming up with a solution and had a workable solution within 7 days is amazing. That quality. And on top of that, you guys dropped new batteries right away for me with, obviously we had a long conversation so you could trust that it was there. And you're like, we want these batteries back. And I'm like, sure, here they are right here. I'll send them back. No problem. And it was kind of interesting in our conversation when you're talking about how many people call back or are putting in warranty claims. It's mostly about, you said it was about dead bat, about over like just draining them dead.
Yeah, I think those still the leading issue is still just a dead batteries, kind of the warranty, because we don't want to make our warranty process too crazy. Like they have to have this giant process, and also sometimes people just don't know. So we believe you shouldn't have to be a battery expert to enjoy the highest battery technology, right? So you shouldn't have to know all the things to have it work great for you. That's our job, is to make it work great. And so, and then I think the dead battery, it's kind of separates on 2 categories, which is typically one where we get back in the battery, actually 3, I suppose. One is the battery's completely drained to 0, like someone's left it plugged in. That's probably about 50% of them. We get about half of them where they get they actually charge with a nickel metal hydride charger, which is terrifying and happens.
Oops.
Yeah, not good, not good, because that nickel metal hydride charger doesn't turn off; it just keeps charging, and that's a seriously scary thing.
That was like one of the first things I learned the hard way when it came to airsoft was washing your
LiPo
chargers and all that. And I plugged the LiPo into the nickel, and I literally had a battery explode. I was like, "Oh, that's what that looks like. That's awesome."
I've smoked
totally
a couple
can happen
over the years.
It's scary, yeah. And then some of it was just a connection break, kind of like you experienced. And I think that's what's hard is there's this constant competing engineering requirement of where we want the battery really thin so it can fit in a lot of rifles. However, to do that, we have to make some decisions on the material we use to carry all that current, because airsoft uses a lot of current. And so, as Tubbs has just said, safety is paramount. And so you actually have to have failure points throughout the battery, because it has to be UN certified to be able to ship on airplanes and, the Department of Transportation, the DOT, whether it's on a truck, UPS, USPS. You're not allowed to ship via USPS, but you know what I mean? Wherever it can be shipped around, there has to have all these requirements. And so it's pretty extensive. And so, yeah. But at any rate, so you have this requirement, but then you also want it to be durable. I actually have, I think first time on camera, the very first Titan airsoft battery ever. It's right here.
Wow.
I wish I had. It's actually stickered with not the right. This is not an 11-1. But that's the only 11-1 I had sticker that I had at the time. This is actually for our flight team. But at any rate, the very first one. And I wish you could see how big it is. It's massive.
It looks
compared
like
to.
It looks like a NIM battery.
Yeah, it's a little chonky for sure. But and in fact, this bottom disc was is Sharpie colored black. It's not even anyway. Pretty fun. And the terminals were cut because I didn't know which connector I would use. So anyway, long stories there. But at any rate, the reason this was so large is because it could carry a lot of current, but it was more durable in some aspects. But that durability comes with the cost. So at any rate, long story short, that's like finding that perfect space. And if I could just make one more comment about what you said was, and I hope this, I'm an engineer, I'm not a salesman, so this sounds salesman-y, just forgive me, but I don't mean to sound this way. But we're made in the United States, and that means a lot. And one of the things that it means is I sit, this is backwards. It's like the weatherman, it's backwards.
Yeah.
So I sit there, our production line is right. Oh my gosh, I can't do this. It's over there.
Yeah, so I have to think sometimes when I go to gesture, I'm good at gesturing on screen.
At least up and down are good. Up, down.
I can do that. Yeah. So our airsoft production line's over here, and then our senior airsoft engineer sits there on the production line. He's a production guy, and then our senior engineer sits over here. We all sit in the same room. We all see each other, same break rooms. We see each other all the time, and so to be able to, the significance of that is you can say, hey, let's explore this change. Let's do this change. In fact, actually, John, who just commented, is our senior battery engineer. And
look, Trent, you rock. Says Trent, you rock.
Promotions en route, sir. But so this is actually really perfect. So after we talked, I came up with some ideas. Mine was better than John's, just so you know. No, I had this idea. However, it was going to be this pretty significant. It would have been a pretty big deal to make this change. And John, he's like, cool idea. What about this idea? And I was like, that sounds great. And unfortunately, the other two, our senior airsoft engineer and then our most experienced airsoft builder, Nate, was like, yeah, I like John's idea better. So fine. No, that's what's so cool though, is the best idea really should come from anywhere. And oh man, this is going to get bad, John. But at any rate, so John and I went, we discussed our idea, took it back, explored it, realized this was actually the quickest, rapid repair or update to it. And also was, what is that? So that almost 5 times more as much tension. And also, just side note, the way that it distributes the loads, it takes the loads off the welds. So you would have to beat 77 pounds, and then you'd have to start working on the welds. So it takes a lot. At any rate, so this was cool.
Travis,
so then we took it back to
Travis,
production.
I think works for you too, doesn't he? Travis Cross.
I don't know that name. Mm-mm.
But if I remember correctly, Titan Batteries started in Arkansas.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
All right. So the really cool thing, because I was like, one of the things I saw was that if these 2 points here could get reinforced, because that seems like where all the weak spots were. And we had some great talks and everything else about that. And then one of the things that, I'm sure that you guys are getting a lot of that is when people are putting these inside of small stocks and they're cramming everything in and pushing it down and all that. Yeah, sure. That's going to cause that little vented stuff down there. But, so when it comes down to batteries and everything else, there's like so many things that people just don't realize that they shouldn't do. Like, for instance, storing the battery plugged into your gun.
Can be bad, yeah, for many reasons, yeah.
using it until it drains all the way down. By the way, good job.
That's me. That's
good job,
me.
Weiner.
No problem. It's usually my daughter. She's on her way from work. Oh, look! Good job. Way to go.
I've silenced mine.
I usually don't. Well, this one's he's gonna get in trouble because this is Jet calling one of my teammates, and I'm gonna be like, "Hold on, this better be damn important that you interrupted me during my stream."
It's very important. It's about the SD cards. What size SD card do you have?
256 is typically what I use.
And is it called SanDisk? Like, how do you know what SD cards fit?
Morning,
Micro
Mr.
SD.
Reese. Or evening, Mr. Reese.
Micro SD. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Bye.
Papa. Oompa loompa.
By the way, it's not important enough to interrupt the stream. He could have waited an hour, and I could have gone through. That's what. Look, he got his very first GoPro. Him and his girlfriend got their first GoPros. So they're like, "Oh, what do I get?" Stuff. What's up, Mr. Reese? How you doing? So Gregory Reese's actually Dead End Outfitters. Trent. He's the one that he's one of your vendors down in Cape Coral,
great.
Florida. Yeah.
Thank you for supporting us. That's awesome.
So what are some of the other no-nos that you shouldn't do with batteries?
Yeah, so there's actually compared to that's super cool. So I might be interesting to kind of compare it to like nickel metal hydride and lithium polymer as well, because every battery has its a sweet spot and its ability to perform in a certain regime. So like for example, like nickel metal hydride is really really simple, right? You just plug in. There's no balance lead. And it just charges. And that's because the cells, as their voltage increases, their resistance also will start. Basically, it becomes like a little resistor. That's why those packs are really hot when they're charged. Is they just start converting all that energy just to heat. But the cells then can balance. But the downside, of course, is they form a memory, which isn't great. And because then you have to like cycle them funny and things like that. And then the other tough side, of course, is the discharge rate's pretty low. And the cycle life is pretty bad. But safety-wise, they're pretty. You could probably pound those with a hammer, and they probably wouldn't be too bad, right? So they're pretty safe. That's pretty great. So that's the benefit of that. But then you go to lithium polymer, fantastic C rating, just default, right? Even a cheap lithium lipo battery will probably a pretty high C rating, at least 15, 20 C is super common, even at a hobby grade battery. The downside, though, is their voltage range is is less than what an airsoft rifle will typically be able to discharge. So that means if you run it low and you keep running it, the lipo is just like doing the best it can to deliver for you, but you're draining it so low that it's in it'll start to puff up, right? It'll start to get in this dangerous area, and then lipos, of course, they're a soft case. So if you crush it, whatever, then it goes bad. And we've seen those on the field, I'm sure, or hopefully not in our homes, but it can get really bad. So those are those things. So when we start talking about lithium ion, it's sort of a sweet spot. There's it does great. So specifically, lithium ion has fantastic energy density. So it has like twice what a lithium polymer will have, and like 8 times what a nickel metal hydride. And discharge or density is literally how many gallons of fuel can you store in a small space. So it has this great. However, lithium ion doesn't have as high of a C rating as lithium polymer will have. And so you have to. So then, how do you still perform in an airsoft application where the inrush is so critical. And this is where cell selection, the pack manufacturer is so important, where we start choosing cells that have a high enough C rating to where, and I see some comments about C rating. I'd love to talk about that because it's actually really cool. There's some cool stuff there.
Here's a great question because I mean, Greg Reese is another engineer that I told you about, but do Titan batteries use 18556 Okay.
Yeah, they're called 18650s. In fact, I brought, I'm trying to see which one I should show you. So I actually brought the very first Titan pack of all time, like ever, is this guy right here. So these are 18650s. This is how old this battery is, made in 2013, I think. It's still charged, by the way. It's almost a decade old. But at any rate, so these are just 18650. So the name 18650 is 18 millimeters in diameter and then 65 millimeters in length, and then an extra 0 because who knows why. But that's
18650 sounds great.
Yes, because 1865 is just too good. At any rate, but yeah. So that's the cell size. And then we put those in series. So in this battery, for example, there's 3 cells. There's 1, 2, 3. And then that black wire you see between them is the series connection. So, but yeah, so that's what those are exactly. And so, so lithium ion has to be. You don't want to crush them, you don't want to overcharge them, and you don't want to overheat them. And so, crushing is pretty self-explanatory. It takes a lot to destroy one of these. You have to really attack it. Like I
dropped this 5-pound sledge on one yesterday or over the weekend, and it didn't do anything.
Yeah, it takes a lot. I wouldn't try it, especially with the charged battery. You got to be careful, but they're pretty tough, so that's great. So they're tougher than a lithium polymer in that regard. You don't want to overcharge it. That's why, not to be too salesman-y, but
I have one of those. I have 2 of those actually.
Excellent. Always, if you considered 3. No, I'm kidding. But so these chargers are really great because you just plug them in and they're going to maintain that battery at the perfect voltage. And of course, you can also check the voltage on the field, which is really cool. But they don't have to plug them into the wall, which is nice. And so that keeps the batteries really safe. And then these chargers, they're like impossible for them to go up above a certain voltage. So you can't overcharge your battery the way this battery charger is used. And then the last thing is just over temperature. But you're talking about like probably 400 or 500 degrees Fahrenheit or beyond to really get it to where it'll go to a bad place. So unless you throw it in a fire, you should be good to go. So that's really it. And then just maybe a few comments. These batteries, you can leave them charged. That's not going to, they're not going to fade. They're not going to like empty just sitting there. They might lose like 1% a month or something, but they really last a long time. But ideally, you charge them at like 3.5 volts a cell. That would be perfect if you can do it. If you're going to leave it for like a whole season, if you're going to take a break from the action for a while, then
in Florida we don't have seasons.
Right.
We only have summer and slightly less hot summer. So our like Weiner's and I's batteries, we get to use them year round.
That's right.
Yes. Yep.
Unless we go to Pennsylvania in the middle of winter.
Yep.
Hey,
that might held up well.
Mine held up well too. So a couple of quick things that came through. Let's see here. There was the I would love to have
some good questions coming in. Yeah.
21700 for my AEG. One was from Tubbs. Then we have I wish you'd offer them website with the XT60
XT60s, yeah.
Why don't you do out of curiosity, why don't you do that one?
Good question. So XT60s looks like this. You know, I'm sure some of you already know that. Apologize. Yeah, so this is pretty common. So this goes a little bit, and some of you you might know more about this than I do. So correct me if I have this wrong. But you know, Airsoft started in Japan, right? And they're typically Tamiya. Yeah, that's right. Tamiya, right? And because those were the batteries, those are the batteries that are available for a lot of applications, right? Especially RC cars and stuff, right? Yeah, and then Tamiya, I kind of don't like Tamiya for like 50 reasons, which is why we started the T-Plug project, the Airsoft T-Plug project, if that's familiar to some people. So we could talk about that someday, but yeah, it's a T-Plug at Dean's. So Dean's, oh man, we could talk about this for like hours, but that whole thing is crazy. But at any rate, yes. So the T-Plug Dean's was available on a lot of RC cars, RC airplane applications as well. And it's much better than Tamiya. It has its own weaknesses too, but it's really good. It's actually probably perfect for airsoft, actually, for a couple of reasons. And then, XT60 connectors became more popular on drones, RC airplanes, things like that, because they can carry a little more current. It just really comes down to the design of the contact here. So these are just circle connectors. And so that means when you have all that 360 connection points, you can carry a lot more current. And then also the probability of connecting these backwards is a little lower. And bigger, honestly, is the solder welds to solder is way easier than a T-plug. And then there's the short risk is really low. So like a T-plug is a little more short risk on the backside, whereas these have a little slightly better. And so the downside for XT60 for an airsoft application is the connector is much larger. I mean, it's like twice the size probably, and space is luxury, right? Or that we can't afford.
And a lot of guns, yes.
And so you just don't want
a
that.
lot. So I'm going to, we'll go to Isaac, and we're going to go back to Greg's question about the C rating, because I have a feeling that's going to be a longer thing. So what percentage do you store your battery at?
Like 35%, 35 to 50 is perfect. And so like that'd be 3.7 volts a cell. So if you've got math there, so it's the voltage on the connector on the battery. So if you can get it to 11.1, you're ace, or 7.4, you're ace. That's perfect.
Hello, Salam. Hey, Paul, how you doing? All right. Now let's go back to Greg's question. Can you explain the C rating for a novice?
Yeah. Oh man, such a good question. Okay, so
engineers.
I almost seem like a whiteboard and a spreadsheet. Don't tempt me; I'll get one out. But yeah, so C rating is an effort to describe how fast energy can flow out of a battery. However, it's a two-part equation, and this is the thing that usually catches up with most people, myself included, when I was getting into this. So let's say that, let's use Titan, this battery, for an example. So this is a 3000 milliamp hour, 3000 mAh battery, or also known as a 3 amp hour battery. So it's a 3 amp hour, 3000 milliamps, right? So 1000, great. So it's a 3 amp hour battery. So if this had a 10 C rating, this is actually closer to like a 17 C rating, but it is, I think. So 3 times 17 means this can discharge. Ooh, actually, oh man. All right, I'm gonna put myself in a hole here. I gotta be careful. C rating's controversial, and this is being recorded, so I have to be careful. But basically,
yeah, you can't back out of this. It's like, look, I could go like this. I could go. I have no idea what he's talking about, but let's go.
let's start over. So let me say it this way. If a battery was 3 amp hours and it could discharge at 10 C, that would take 3 times 10 equals 30. So that is, in essence, how many amps it could discharge. So you have amp hours multiplied by C rating to describe how many amps the battery can discharge. However, there's a few shenanigans here we got to be careful about. One is there is no standard on how C rating is calculated. And so this means that manufacturers can do, in essence, really what they want to do. And there's no like check necessarily. So not only can they lie, hopefully no one does that, but they can also choose a certain kind of way to determine C rating. And so that's the first hard part. And the second thing is when you have like a Titan pack that has typically twice the amount of amp hours or milliamp hours as a lithium polymer pack, that means they're not really comparable anymore, right? Because that means I could have half the C rating in this battery as I would have of a LiPo that had half the capacity. Because let's say theirs was 1.5 amp hours is their capacity times, let's say 10 C. That means they could discharge at 15 amps. I could have half that. I could have 7.5 amps at 3 amp hours and have the same amp rating. So it's sort of like so basically it's like A times B equals the amp a number of amps that it results. So it's not that hard of a calculation. This, right? Yeah, but it's basically, I'm probably murdering this, but so take those two components. And so what that means is if you double your capacity, you can half your C rating. But that also means if you half your capacity, you have to double your C rating to have the same amount of amps. So that's what that means. Okay, let me say that a little simpler because I probably murdered that. Airsoft rifles use amps. Thanks, Greg. That's all good. Airsoft rifles typically need about 30 amps to do their job. Most airsoft rifles need about 30 amps. So if our battery is 3 amp hours, it needs to have a 15 C rating to keep your rifle working good, because 10 C rating. So 3 amps times 10 C rating equals 30 amps. So that means that rifle can continuously run, which is good. So that's that. So basically, you have to have those two equations, one times the other, to equal the amount of amps your airsoft rifle needs to run. Okay, but airsoft is a little tricky too, because airsoft isn't a common application, because nothing's easy in airsoft, right? Airsoft doesn't use, so most C ratings on batteries are considering a constant draw, like a flashlight would. So like you flick on a flashlight and it just drains constant, hence C rating, constant rating, right? However, airsoft doesn't do that. I know some people, probably you, Mark, I would bet, just hold the trigger down, right?
No, he does not. No, but he has a fast
I am good. I'm good. Tinker, on the other hand, that's a different story.
Right. So on airsoft, though, when you pull the trigger, you have this massive inrush of about 100 amps for about 20, 30 milliseconds. And then it settles in at about 30 amps to let that motor finish its cycle, and then it goes to 0. So when you're pulling, when you're pulling the trigger over and over and over, it spikes 130 sets. It's like a heart rate, it does these cycles. And so that's also important to characterize your battery, and then the wiring, and there's a million factors that go into this. But yeah, so there's that. If it helps, and I don't want to plug our site, but if you go to titanbatteries.com and click more, there's actually a whole page about C rating that we sat down and wrote it out, and probably did a better job than I did. I apologize.
Yeah. Look, you explained it to. So I like this. I like to do this to Greg because he's going to be like, whatever. The only thing I know is the C rating means I could pew pew more.
Yes, pew pew. Yep.
And just as to see, look, I'm the king of one shot kills, so I usually don't overshoot people. Tinker, on the other hand, does this.
Sorry.
And that's all semi-auto.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's not
just stop it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those funny things. It's like he'll call me to explain it to him. You know what? I wasn't going to, but now I'm going to anyway.
Keep you a long time. There you go.
Keep you a long time. Exactly. It's really funny because so Tinker's like my right hand man. So pretty much anytime I get something new, he gets something new, because then he takes stuff that I have, so that we go through. When it comes to tracers, he uses my Bifrost, and we have 4 of them now. So he'll take them, and periodically open up the Bifrost and turn it on. He doesn't like the flash I do, so I open it up and I was like, "Why the hell is it not flashing, Tinker? God damn it! Take your own stuff." So it's whenever I get something and it works, he gets something and it just works, and then I could set him loose, which is also kind of funny when we do some of these longer events. I'll carry an extra battery on me because I know better, especially when it's cold out. We're at Iron Horse 3, and this was the best part. I have an Umbrella Armory call, and all of a sudden it started performing really poorly during it Iron Horse 3, because it was 20 degrees outside. So I knew that cold could affect batteries, and it could cause sometimes that they could run out faster and all that. So
affect your bucking too.
Yeah, especially when you're using a D-hop barrel and you're going when you crank the hop up all the way up, huh?
No. Battery performed though.
But it was I was
7.4.
And I got a bunch of codes on the Gate Titan. So I contacted Umbrella and they said, okay, send it back. They sent it back. They tried blaming the battery. I was like, it's not a battery problem, man. Or they tried saying that the battery caused the other issue that suddenly appeared. And I was like, no, the battery didn't cause the issue. The battery is, they probably threw a code like low voltage or whatever, but it did not cause the gun to stay in full auto for no apparent reason. Water could do that, but not a battery. So it's like we test out stuff all the time, and honestly, it's like we've had other companies' batteries. We won't mention the companies' names because we don't want to piss them off. That we get it. They after a few times usage, all of a sudden they start puffing up really bad, and we can't fit them in anything, and then they don't last as long. And we're like, all right, this is garbage. Let's get the others. Like the most consistent battery that we've had from the start has been Titan.
Awesome.
And we had
Thank you. It's cool to hear.
And then the customer service aspect, I've never had a problem dealing with Titan customer service because I want to say it was like a year and a half to 2 years ago. There was and I think this was mostly at the fault of the way Amazon was sending them or whatever. We went through batteries through Amazon that were really bad. And like when I picked the thing up, the packaging and the box and everything was stifling hot. And I told the guy, I was like, hey, and I was like, do you need a drink? He goes, yeah, the van doesn't have AC. I was like, dude, it's the middle of summer. It's 90 degrees outside. Back your van's got to be over 100. It's like, what the hell? Yes, Polkadol, we could see you. And you guys have always been the easiest ones to deal with. It's like you send over, you take it at the face value and everything else. You ask a bunch of questions, which is fine. And then of course you have this other thing that happens, which is you're the CEO of the company taking time out to deal with a customer issue. And it wasn't like we had a short conversation. We were on the phone for an hour. And it was kind of cool because we went from one topic to another. So what I was leading with this is what is next for Titan? Like, what's the next big thing that we should look at for as airsofters of something that is incredibly exciting that we should be excited about? Wait. Before you answer that question, can you please get something that could fit into the stock of the ARP 556 or the ARP 9, please?
PQ box, man.
No.
Come on now.
No.
That is tough. Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely stuck with the 18650 format. There are other cell sizes, but they're typically larger. They have smaller cell sizes, but the performance is just not there. And we have talked. There's a lot of ideas that we're considering on how to do that, and those are really early stages. But we definitely recognize that there's just some rifles we won't fit in. And I joke about the PQ box, of course, but
yeah.
The cool thing is that where the number of manufacturers, and again, I shouldn't name names, but the number of manufacturers that have reached out to us to say, we want to fit Titan. We don't currently. We want our stock to do that. Can we work with you on X and Y? And it's crazy because we're like, I still feel like we're new. I mean, we really came on the scene, if you will, maybe like 2017. 2019 is when we really got quite a bit bigger.
On the scene longer than I have, so I've only grown up with Titan. I went with 2 different companies before yours, and somebody just says get a Titan battery. And since then, I wish I can, I could look at my Amazon shopping cart and see just how many times I've ordered from. Let's see.
What's crazy, by the way, as you look that up, is the number at the beginning when we started selling to dealers. The number of dealers that would say, I don't want to carry your product because if I do, I know I won't sell as many batteries because they last long enough. And so not only they last long enough like in a single game, but then the cycle count is so high that I know I'm not going to sell as many. And we said, okay, well, I'm not going to make it worse. So we'll just do the best we can. And then in time, they would say, hey, I'm not selling any batteries, so I guess I'll have to buy yours. It was sort of because people kept coming in asking for Titan. It was just funny. So that happens more and more. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so this is my Amazon sheet, right? So those are like the newest ones that I ordered back in May, 2022. 3-stick. There's the single one. There's one of the chargers. There's the other charger.
Nice.
There's another one back in 2020 and look, 2019.
It's pretty crazy, right? Isn't it like lipos? Most people were going through like 9 a season.
Well, and here's the thing too. It's like I didn't buy these other batteries because the batteries were dead. I bought. You guys replaced a couple because it was. I think this order right here was when I had the problems, like something inside of there, and I don't want to pull up because it gives away some of my shopping habits and stuff. But there's a lot more than just that inside of the thing. But in those orders, like this, I don't buy like this one. I bought 2 or 3 at a time, and you know, and that was the ones that when it went through. So I wasn't buying new batteries because I was running that they're defective or anything else. It's just because I was running so much stuff and doing so many things, and I had other guys that relied on it. I was like, well, shit, if I'm buying one, I'll buy 2. You know,
cool.
So that's usually how I go through. And then, yeah, let's see. Dude, I don't want to have people like look, I buy a lot of gag gifts too. I'm not even gonna lie. I send a lot of gag gifts out to people. That's why it's dangerous to have your address because you never know what'll show up inside of at your house if I know where you live.
Nice.
But almost every single time I bought a Titan battery, I bought 2, if not 3.
Cool.
So,
well, we've when we started, there are times when, and I wish Matt could be on the call today. He was out of town, but Matt and I, when we started Titan for Airsoft, because I should say, as some of you may know, Titan does more than just Airsoft. We do batteries for drones and electric vehicles and a bunch of other crazy stuff too. But when we started for Airsoft, we were so just like, I don't know. We went to so many events trying to understand what people really wanted and how to make the battery just amazing. And the cool thing is Matt has a whole team. He plays with a whole team of guys, and they would torture our batteries, and they'd come back in a box rolling around with parts missing, and we would innovate and change. And it was a long road, and that we can do that even better now that we're made in the United States because it's now we can innovate rapidly. We have a little more resources and have
obviously you fixed an issue in a week.
Yeah, which is super.
Let's also talk about like address that. We talked on the 22nd, and you had it by the 26th. You know,
and there's a weekend in there,
and it was Christmas was in there too.
Oh, that's right.
You know, you know, there's so many times people like when they hear something coming, they're like, "Oh, I'll fix it." Whenever, you know, I'll fix it. It'll take a couple months, but then I'll fix it. Hey, what's up, Fright? Fight night, I guess it is. Fate night. Fate night. There we go. I was trying to get it. Look, I'm trying. And like Stu said, I bought 6,000 mods and I haven't needed anything else. If these connections hadn't gone bad, I wouldn't have needed the 2 extra batteries. There was no need for a call, but then you guys fixed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing like it go through. And I told you before, if you ever need me to break something or send it through the ringer, man, I got some guys that we destroy crap. And going back to like the ARP 556 and the ARP 9, if G&G is watching, how about you guys don't put in like 5 miles of cable into the back of the stock of the ERP 9 and the ERP 556, and you might actually have enough space to store a battery in there, because it's not even up on the shelves. Yeah, there's not enough, because that's like their biggest problem is that they have so much stuff because their own MOSFET that's built in. It's because I'm awesome, John. Yes, you are, because you fixed an issue. But so what's the cool new thing that you guys got coming?
So yeah, that's a tough one. We're very much a battery company, and there's it's hard to make something perfect more perfect. No, I'm kidding. No, there's always ways to make it better. I think where Titan will go is, oh man, hard to say. I'm trying to be careful. Ronald is watching, and if I say too much, I'm gonna get in trouble. But basically, there's other things in batteries we think about. There's other electronics on the rifle we think about. However, there's some really good companies out there that do that really well. And I think that Titan's really careful. I think we're really careful not to get into a market where someone's just killing it, because just why? Like it's hard to differentiate yourself from someone that's really excelling. And I don't want to do it just because it's a Me Too product, because I don't want to, I don't know, I don't think that anyone's excited about that. And so it'll be interesting to see what we can do there. We certainly have ideas. I think that batteries fitting other applications is something we certainly talk about quite a bit. There's things we can do on the charging side that could be cool. There's obviously what we're doing today with you is, hearing from customers and saying, hey, I want this to be different. I want this to be better. I mean, we do R&D, and we have our own, players out in the field, of course, that give us good feedback, but it's good to have that interaction so that we can make it better. And so I know it's kind of a cryptic answer, but it really comes down to, making our product better.
It's one of those things where you have cool stuff in the horizon, and you don't want to give it away, because then you also don't want somebody else to get the idea or whatever.
That's right.
We deal with that a lot. I would like to say that, don't worry, we could keep a secret.
I can show you this Airsoft battery. What do you think about this one? I'm just kidding. No, this is not for Airsoft. This would be cool though. This is something else we work on, but it's not Airsoft related, of course. Although that would be quite the rifle.
There's one for you. If Gate can do HPA, Titan can do MOSFETs.
Oh, dude, well, that's certainly one we talked about. I think that. Dude, Gate Titan and others. There's some really good MOSFET companies out there. So that's hard. That'd be hard. I mean, it's certainly something we could think about, but I think it'd be better to partner with them to make something better, potentially. But we'll see.
There's a lot of cool stuff that you guys have done. I mean, like I said, you guys have really with a 2-cell fit. 21700 fit in an ARP, not easily. You run the risk of the same thing, crushing the backside. It's a short stock. I mean, if you have an extended stock, possibly, but you can't. I've seen things. There's a lot of people trying to shove these batteries into the back of the stock to make them fit. The only thing that you usually get is one of those small single stock cell ones, but they usually have problems in itself. They don't last as long. Jet knows full well the problems that come up with that.
We had a customer in, I think it was Texas, came up to us. I can't remember what rifle it was. Matt would know better. But a customer came up and said, I love my Titan stick pack. And we're like, that doesn't fit in your rifle. We don't see a PQ box. How are you running that? I think it was an AK. He flipped it up, and it was like, the battery, he had literally placed it and hammered it with a hammer.
Oh shit!
And it was shaped like a D. It was like flat on the top. It was like all meshed inside. And he's like, I'm not gonna be able to take it out. So it lives with the rifle now. And we were like, like slowly walking away and be like, oh my gosh, like please don't blow up. And the thing is, I think he used that for like a good year or two. So not recommending this, but dude, it
works.
I would not do that. You get one puncture, next thing you know, you have a.
Oh man, that's crazy.
The only thing I miss on Titan's website is the shrink tube for the battery itself.
To switch it out. Yeah, message us. We'll sell it to you. I think they're like maybe half a penny a piece. You could charge. I don't know.
That's a little rich for my blood.
Yeah. So
what's up, Rainer?
Yeah, you can always email me if you ever have anything like that. So my email address is trent@titanbatteries.com. If you need some heat shrink or some tips on C rating that I can't explain well, just email me and we can hook you up, or just contact us. You can go to titanbatteries.com and click contact, and we can hook you guys up if you need something like that. We're players too, so I get it.
Yeah, that was, you can almost always tell the companies that are players at the same time, that they're designing stuff. Typically the companies that don't, oh man, for some reason I got pressure points today. Will you be doing advanced chargers?
Perhaps. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe one of the
Yeah,
things
that's
in the
certainly something
background.
we talk about. Yep.
'Cause I think that would be a logical progression. You guys do some advanced chargers and all that. One would almost think that you guys would have already had one made by now, but
No.
there's. I really want to thank you again for the time that you took, like calling in like as soon as you guys came up with the solution, you had this excited text that you sent me, and then you get on the phone, and you're like, "Oh my god, we figured it out!" It was great.
Yeah.
I'm new. What's your guys' favorite airsoft gun? Kalan.
MTW.
Yeah, he's always an MTW. For me, it depends. The current one I like a lot right now is the ARP 5.56 2.0. I was given that by SNS Airsoft. Shameless plug. They did some. It was the ARP 5.56 2.0. They did some kind of things that are a little annoying with it, with the way the stock comes off. But I like the 2.0. It's really great. And what's this that he got? Tag launcher. What's that? Is that the yeah? Is that the Avalon?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Man, this has been many. This rifle, quick story. I need to find the video or the picture of it. So we took a Titan pack, put it in the back, hooked up a robot to pull the trigger, and I think we got like 7,800 rounds through it. And so it was a robot that would just. In fact, at one point we had it like randomly, like it would like that. It would like switch back and forth. And one time we came around the corner, and it was like making this strange sound, like metal just pouring out the bottom from thousands of dry firing. Anyway, so we had a good friend of ours fix it up. But anyway, so yeah, many games on this guy.
It's SS Airsoft, not SNS Airsoft. Yes, sorry, Greg. Thank you for reminding me and going through. But actually, one of my favorite guns is actually one that Greg did, which you can barely see because I need to get new lighting in here. But it's the Dead End Outfitters Indestructible. It's his build. I love this gun because of the range and how quiet it is. You almost don't hear anything from this gun. The thwip you hear is only when you're on the back end. People are like, they're getting shot from halfway across the field and like, where the hell did that come from? And one would be surprised with somebody that's running around in like a Hawaiian shirt. And by the way, thanks Steve for the Franken shirt, because it's literally like, my wife and I went through, and it's like, this is the shirt that has been made up of other Hawaiian shirts. There's the purple one I have. There's the red one. There's the yellow. There's the blue. And on the back's the gold. I was like, God.
Did you wear out all the other ones?
No, it was just
made one out of them?
What it was is somebody was smart, that's putting these up on Amazon. Like, oh, shit, we have a whole bunch of small little pieces. Let's throw this all together. The Indestructible. Yeah, it's.
So I have a question for you guys. What should Titan do next? What do you think?
I got
Well, for one, I think you should make a battery that fits inside of the ARP 5.56. But all serious aside, I mean, the smart chargers would be a good option. But if I like the one somebody said that, if you guys are doing all this design, you guys got a lot of intelligence over there, and you guys can figure out a lot of stuff engineering wise. Maybe you guys make a MOSFET, like somebody said. If Gate can do HPA, you guys should be able to make a MOSFET. But that's like, as almost everybody has said here, when I was telling a few people that, I'm going to have Trent on, they're like from their and they go, "Who's that?" I was like, "The CEO of the thing." They go, "Man, you do know everybody." I was like, "I just met him. I just met him on the phone." How long have you guys played Airsoft? I'm at 4 years and 4 years. My 4-year anniversary was 6 days from now, from the first time I stepped on the field. He's been doing
13.
it forever.
13 years. Coming up on 13 years. I was paintball before Airsoft.
Cool.
Yeah,
So I'm coming up 13
I went
years.
laser tag, paintball, then Airsoft. I took a
I see
weird
that. I do see that.
direction. Look, we had a great place called Boomers. It was right there. It was a lasertron. We would go there all day Tuesday and play nonstop, and it was great. And then all of a sudden, they shut down.
We build batters for laser tag rifles as well, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, for a couple of manufacturers. Yeah.
Lasertron, I think, was like, not to like really segue away, but I think Lasertron has been the best laser tag type system that I've seen out in the market. I played it at quite a few different places, and I was like, everyone's like, but laser tag had some pretty cool factors and everything else. Water tech, paintball, then army. See, I would get a Titan MOSFET. There you go.
All right, Travis. Pre-orders are open now.
Don't say that, 'cause all of a sudden your customer service is like, when you must be talking about Gate Titan. No, you said.
Oh man,
Trent said Titan.
I know. Yeah, that would be tough. Maybe we'll buy them. No, maybe they'll buy us. Who's bigger? I don't know. I don't know if that's how that works.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. So it's, I don't know. What I've been seeing since I started is that the technology. What the hell's going on out there? The technology has expanded so fast, and there's so much cool innovation going on. Like Greg, he's got his VD Venti line of guns. He's got the Indestructible and everything else. You have, you had the newest one that I guess the biggest thing was, Crytek coming out with not Crytek, the Polar Star coming out with their pneumatic.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
I'm having a brain fart too. I can't remember.
I know. I can't. It begins with a K.
Yeah.
But just the.
What? Stu's on.
VD Venti, Vici, and something else. And look, man, don't get on my ass. You got the flu. I have moving, and building and shit going on in my house.
And a messed up haircut too. I saw that.
Hey, look, my haircut's nice now, man. Yeah. My hair was like a shit. It looked like shit.
There it is. Kythera.
Kythera. There it is.
Kythera.
Yeah,
it's Kythera. TH.
Kythera. Yeah, the Kythera. But like the tracer technology is really advanced now that you actually build them inside of the. They can have them where they attach right to the hop-up units. We have the D-hop barrels that just, if you haven't fired an airsoft gun with a D-hop barrel in it, you don't know what you're missing. Where you just get a hell of a lot more range, and not really a huge increase in FPS. So you can still get like 300 feet, but you're still shooting field limit. And there's all the other cool stuff coming out. Like, I got a Vorpal bunny for Christmas. So I'm the kind of guy that likes to see crazy types of guns and everything else like that. And I love this thing. I can't wait to use it. Tomorrow actually is when I'm going back out to the field. And that's another cool thing to watch and see come out is how many new fields are opening up. Like MK Airsoft is opening up their newest field, or have opened their newest field. And I think they're looking at getting another location. We have Palm Beach Airsoft's going to be opening up soon. So there's like a lot of cool stuff coming out inside the market, and I just can't wait for it.
Yeah, that's so cool to see the it grow, and I'm really hoping that the companies are really serious about supporting the player, because what's interesting, I know we talked about this, is Titan, we sell to a couple different business units. We sell to defense contractors, military contracts. We do like hobby flight applications and commercial drone applications and golf car batteries and all sorts of other stuff. But the airsoft market really stands out because the players, I think they can smell if a company is not after their true best interest, and the other companies in that market, like we're relatively close to some of the larger manufacturers and resellers and distributors and dealers. Man, they don't like. Thankfully, we've never had to. I don't think we've ever done this. Hopefully, but like, they can totally detect when you are trying to make a quick buck if you're not really in there long term, or if you don't have like a 10-year view.
Sorry.
Oh, Stu again.
Stu came out with it. That's a prime example. Yeah. We're not going to say it up on the stream or anything else, but that is somebody that is just there for the buck, that is taking something that is established, that's already out on the market, downgrading it to sell it at a higher price because there's a name on it, and then selling you the parts to upgrade it to where you can get it as the non-named version. You're absolutely right there, Trent. We have a field that's here in Florida that we don't name that periodically they've done some pretty bad things. I mean, between safety, but not just safety issues, but also ripping off the customers and everything else. And it really comes down the line, and it's pretty apparent because the community turns on them. And then there's other big companies that got like Lancer Tactical, for one. They decided that they were going to go cheap to get more stuff out, and their brand took a massive hit for it because all of a sudden you have a bunch of low quality guns that are coming out that a lot of people are getting, and that's their first experience with Lancer, is a gun that breaks down quite a bit. Now they have brought their quality control and everything else back up again, but the reality is that it takes a long time to get back up, sort of like the Vulcan ASL lines. They really started to. Vulcan realized that they had a perception issue and decided to really put a lot of heavy into it. So they rebuilt up their reputation, which is good to see. So yeah, that's why I really appreciate the time that you took when you didn't even have to. You could be like, hey, yeah, sorry about that. Here, we'll definitely send you some new batteries, and we're going to work on the issue. And that's all I expected. And then all of a sudden I'm getting a text like 6 days later and be like, oh God, I got some exciting news. So I was like, all right, Trent, you care. And you didn't even know who I was, or I'm not saying that my platform's like huge or anything, but you had no idea who I was, but you still spent the time to treat it as if I was somebody. You didn't care who I was. You wanted to make sure it was right. And that's the important thing that we need in the community, is making sure that it doesn't matter if it's somebody that has 100 million subscribers on YouTube, or if it's somebody that just started Airsoft yesterday.
Right.
You took time, you helped out, and you make sure you make the stuff right for future players. That's all that really matters. So nobody else is commended you. I commend you.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, it's like you have to. I think it's like if we try to make decisions as if our customers saw everything we did, everything. Like if you guys, if you came and did a tour of the building today, which we could do a little tour at some point, but if you did a tour of the building today and watched your battery get made, and more importantly, if we made it for you, and I knew you're going to an event this weekend, and you know what I mean, how would I build that? How would I behave? And if that's the mentality we have, then it's just so easy to live that way, because you just don't have to worry about the alternatives, right? It's easy to calculate. It's easy to say, I want to make the best thing I possibly can, regardless of anything else. I don't care. I just ignore everything else. And I'm going to try to I'm going to treat every customer or potential customer like someone that is a good friend of mine. That's just so easy to do. and I don't know why, because then I don't have to like try to. It's like honesty is easier than dishonesty, because you just tell the truth the whole time and accept for what it is, no matter what the consequence is. Because if you don't like that truth, then you get to live. You it's time to shape up and get up to where you need to be. A little thing there for us, but you know what I mean. The same principle, right? Because if like because when you called, you're like, yeah, this isn't working. A part of me, I mean, I had a lot going on that day. You know, we all do. We're very busy. And then, but then when you're like, yeah, and this is like the couple of times I'm just, you know, I don't think this is what Titan should be. And I'm like, dude, speaking truth, man. Like that is true. That's not what it should be. And you've had this happen a couple times. Like, okay, like let's walk through this because we need to resolve that. And so anyway, it does matter. Yeah.
And it's one of those things too. It's like where, like, say it was my fault. Say I was trying to cram these batteries into the P556. Really, it wasn't, but let's just say it was. You know, then the customer could be educated, right, on what's happening and what's going down, and then they can. Greg's trying to catch up to where we were at. I'm waiting for him to watch me like really butcher the hell out of all his gun games, but you know, I could at least be educated and possibly fix it for future stuff. But even still, you are making it right, even though the customers are idiots. I get it. Airsofters are idiots. I get it. You know, I say it all the time. Sometimes I'm an idiot when I go through and do something. You know, I'm not the idiot that decided that he's going to go throw a smoke inside of an indoor building thinking it was a flashbang, but I'm the idiot that picks it up and runs it out of the building. You know, so we all do stuff like this. So it's like, there's always learning opportunities when stuff went down, and this was like one of the ones. I was like, all right, is there any way possible I screwed this up? No, I didn't. So let's talk to them and see what we can come out. And like I said, the worst thing that could have happened was like, hey, that's obviously, you could have been like anything else of like, if you're just trying to be in for the buck, be like, no, you probably jammed that inside of a small gun. You weren't paying attention. You're probably ripping it around. It's like, what do you look? We call it an chuck battery. You're not supposed to use them as numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things of there's so many things that you could have done instead of, or you could just been like, all right, sure, here's a replacement battery, whatever. But the fact that your company did what you did to fix and rectify the issue over Christmas time when you're supposed to be, you know, being with family and everything else, is commendable, and we need more of that inside of the sport. We do have a lot of those. We do have companies like that will take up the stand for something like that. Like Greg Reese with Dead End Outfitters, he makes the D-Hop barrels, and somebody, we won't mention who. I don't know who we're talking about here. Like at one of the events, accidentally screwed up the D-Hop patch.
No, I am not taking the blame for that. That was not me. Thank you. I did not. It burned through because it got cold and hot. I was shooting a lot. I'm going to defend that still. Keep telling me I did it. I did not do that.
But like,
that's okay. I'll get rid of D-Hop. I'll find something else.
No, you won't, because
sure
it's the best damn patch barrel on the market, period. Hands down. But the joking aside, you know, they realized that in extreme cold conditions that it could affect the patch if you apply too much hop, and you could burn the patch a little bit if you didn't. So it's just, now there's an educational deflection is always the best thing. But now Greg, whenever he goes to give a D-hop, he asks where the people are going to, if they're going to be going to cold. He gives the warning, just don't crank up the hop. Like the one kid that literally pushed the hop up all the way through the patch.
That wasn't me.
I'm also someone who for sure has messed up the D-hop patch. Bullshit, Brainerd. But it's cool stuff like that. Or you know, like there was another company that I got a gun worked on by them. It failed after 2 shots. And somehow I'm blamed for a part that was defective. Now, you can't blame me to go, oh, you must have used it. I was like, I didn't. Look at the dust on this thing. I pulled it off to break it out, to use it, and it failed. 2-second shot, it died. What do you want? A prime example of this was somebody sent me the Matrix Colonial Marines airsoft gun. What a bunch of garbage that thing is. Trying to get the money back for that was such a pain in the ass because the company didn't care. I was like, look, I get it. This thing looks awesome. This thing looks cool, but I want to be able to use it, and I can't use it. It shot 6 times, 10 times, and it stopped working. I just want my money back, please. I'd rather spend the money to get the good version. Just please, this thing's defective as all hell. No. So it's like, all right, fine. We'll have them claim and get the money back that way, whatever. I was like, there's a simpler solution to this because I could easily spend the money back at your store again to get it. Are you really going to give me this? So ultimately they're doing it. I mean, the guy hasn't gotten his money back yet, but I sent the gun back because it's defective, and like I grew up on Aliens. I love that movie. So I really want to have one of those that work well. But you're absolutely right. Customer service, everything. Nothing is impervious to everything. Of course, I'd let the manufacturer know, let them fix it. It helps with future growth as well. Exactly.
I'll be honest though. I think this is a attribute that isn't in everyone, because I know when we first started for Airsoft, Matt Horner, who's big, on Team Titan, for life, and is definitely our U.S. Airsoft expert, and I hope he's able to watch this later or able to watch it now. But he we would have problems, early at the very beginning, a battery would fail or something would occur, and I'll be honest, I was like, I would begin with what they do, which was not a good place to start. But I admit, we had worked so hard. I thought we were perfect, because why would you make something bad, right? And Matt would always say, and I don't know if he quite said it this way, but he was like, why don't we start with assuming the customer's not lying and go from there? And I don't know and obviously it wasn't, am I making the conversation sound a little more crazy than it really was, but that really changed my perspective on that. And that's been a really beneficial since then, because, for example, when you called, there is a defensive mechanism that kicks up, right? Because we work so hard on these, what'd you do to my battery kind of mechanism. But if you begin with, okay, why would you break a battery, go through all this effort to call us just to get like a free battery? Like, why would you wouldn't do that. Why would you do that? So instead, I'm going to assume that you're telling the truth. This really happened in the way you described it. I can only make it better from here. And that's definitely not easily done, because that means admitting that something's not perfect and that you need to make it better. And that's a humbling process for sure, especially where, you're in an industry where you try to be the best. That's challenging. But I think that attitude is that humility, if you will, is going to make your product better. And hopefully, loyalty begets loyalty. If I'm loyal to you, you're going to be loyal to me, and we're going to, be successful together. And so, and especially if you have the perspective that, like, we want to sell batteries for the next 100 years, right? Like, we want to be a part of Airsoft forever. We want Titan to be forever there. And so if we're going to have that attitude, then what does it really matter even if the customer is lying, right? Or if they're not telling the complete truth, which, by the way, I don't think in all the warranty claims you've ever gotten, I think maybe 1 out of 1,000 or something maybe might have been sketch. Really, maybe. It's a tiny percent, because airsofters are good people. At a max, I know, I'll just say this straight out. Airsofters generally are just good dudes out to have a good time. They hold themselves and companies to a high standard, and that's great. That's not true for every industry.
And I think one of the things is that airsofters know that if they try taking advantage of a company and everything else, costs go up for everybody, and they don't want that. Then you have Greg. That was Greg saying preach.
Yes.
Captain Tubbs, that makes you guys a great company. I'm going to be honest, converted my I like this one. I'm gonna be honest. I converted my Titan battery to an XT60 connector, even though I knew it would probably void the warranty.
Travis, I bless you with permission to do that.
I wouldn't, because
Oh wait, who is this?
Poor Tanya's gonna get a call like,
Oh shoot,
the hell happened?
you have it on
Everybody's
record.
going to be pointing back to this. I'm going to be part of a central controversy.
No, just Travis.
No,
he's
he's hard.
the only one. He's the only one that gets permission.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a great example of like what Greg said. So his patch started in Florida because that's where he's located at. So he probably didn't realize some of the limitations because he doesn't travel like Weiner and I do. I actually more than Weiner does when it comes to airsoft. But
Yes, agreed.
But we were both at locations that were frigidly cold,
We were testing it out.
and we figured out some of the things that went bad. So again, you could be a jerk about it, or you could just fix it, or even better, say, all right, well, there are some limitations. Here are your limitations. Don't do this, right? Sort of like me getting the G&G CM16 LMG and deciding to throw a battery in there and just going full on ham with a big ass drum mag and constantly feeding BBs in there. You know, it's only a matter of time before that gearbox and everything else implodes. It's just going to disintegrate. So do the right thing, convert it over, right? I mean, but it's all, the industry on a whole is really cool. When it comes down to companies, what I love is that there's very few companies that are actually out there to really screw people over. Because I don't think you're right; they don't last long in the industry because people just avoid paying for them and going to them, giving them their money. But I mean, I really want to thank you for your time coming on. I mean, it's you got to go. Thanks for the info. Keep going, doing good work. We'll always try to. Snaffer shooting world. Yeah. So we're going to continue using your batteries, obviously. Your batteries get a lot of use through us because I think out of everybody that plays airsoft that I know, myself and my team probably play the most because we're there. We're playing at least 2 to 3 times a week. Kind of like Trent try firing the Avalon with the robot.
I gotta find a video of that. Let's see if I can find it really quick.
Mark will post it.
Dun, 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 dun. And you probably don't receive a lot of this, but like even Tubbs said, thank you and your team for the work that you do, because without a quality battery, half the airsoft community doesn't work.
And the team, like, let's be real. Like I push some buttons and I build batteries on occasion. I do. Well, no,
except
I do.
Except for that John guy. That John guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
True. No, but we got an awesome team, and they work super hard. We used to take this battery right here. Used to take like 48 minutes to build. We build it in I think about 9 minutes now.
Nice.
9 labor minutes. And there's 7 people that build this. So 7 different people touch this in some way. And so it's just super cool. They work really hard. And sometimes we get a lot of orders, hopefully, right? And so sometimes they work really hard and late nights and come in and some people, people have family things going on in their lives and they keep working. And obviously we try to be good to each other, but yeah, it's a good team. So thank you, John.
Totally awesome. I'll keep fixing the issues. Shadow, the D-Hop patch is a proprietary patch made by Dead End Outfitters. He can go. He can keep going on. Greg can go on and tell you all the technicals and all that about what it does. I'll give it to you the simplest way possible. It helps you pew farther and straighter.
Lets you reach out and touch more people.
It's like AT&T, reach out and touch someone.
Yep.
And it really does work. It works really well. Don't say it. Too late, Greg. There's a delay in chat by about a good minute. He's probably going to be like, damn it. So Again, thanks for coming on, Trent. You don't have to leave.
Yeah.
But we're going to go on to the next one. If you want to stick around and hang out
Yep.
with us, you're more than welcome to.
I should go. I should go back to my dear wife is alone home alone with the kids, and if I want to not sleep on the couch tonight, I better get home.
All right, Trent. Well, thank you very much for coming on tonight. We really
thank
do
you guys.
appreciate it.
It's so good. Let's stay in touch.
Oh, definitely, man. We got some cool events coming up, like Syndicate 3 and everything else that we're going to talk about a little bit later on. Love to have you guys out there.
Thunderdome.
Yeah, we're going to Thunderdome in
2 weeks.
10 days.
Yeah.
10 days. Not even 2 weeks. 10 days, dude.
Yeah.
11 days, I think it is. So thank you very much for coming on, and
Thank you, Trent.
you're welcome to come on anytime you want.
Awesome. Sounds good.
All
Thank
right.
you guys. Have a good night.
Have a good one.
Take care. Night.
See ya.
Happy
Bye.
New Year again.
And then there was just us.
And I just realized I was looking at the website, the Titan
Flash
website,
it.
and they have the new HPA version 2 battery out, which is smaller for HPA, and that's what I was looking for. That was a question, and when I looked on the website, it was there. And he's cheaper than Amazon if you buy them directly from Titan.
Yeah.
So, and then hopefully they'll have the new, the new versions of them, the tighter, the
All right.
better
So
welded.
now it's just you and I, Weiner.
Uh-oh. What now?
So nothing. So it was really awesome. I mean, like I said, Trent is very extremely passionate about the stuff that he does and everything else, and it's cool to have somebody that comes in that has that level of passion.
Greg picked
I
up
know.
on me some Flash.
He wants me to do it. Don't worry, I'll get to the
Okay, we'll
job.
talk about it.
So
Your
let's
little
go back
event.
to with the Shadow. Shadow, the D-Hop patch. It is a proprietary material. The way that it's cured and attached to the barrel and all that makes for a really smooth thing, which is the slightest touch to the BB that puts on the Magnus effect that puts. Magnus effect. I'm trying to get the words out of my mouth. The Magnus effect on the BB makes it go. The great thing is it goes straighter, further, and then it drops off at the very end. Oh yeah, we're coming. Don't worry, we only started talking about the schedule. You know, Weiner and I got a jam-packed schedule coming up. We have Clash of the Titans in 11 days.
No.
No, we have Thunderdome in 11 days. We then have Clash of the Titans in February. We also have Bone Strike in February. In March 3rd to the 6th, we have the Airsoft Cruise, Pew Pew at Sea. Then at the end of March, March 24th to the 26th, we have Stonebreaker. Then we have...
Crap, I forgot about that one. Oh, shit. Then I got a cruise I'm going on for a week.
Yeah, you got a cruise. And then when you're in cruising, we'll be having Syndicate 3. It's God, it's great. It's a great time.
Job just to pay for these events.
I'll
be sleeping in my car. I should just pick up my camper now and just take it everywhere. Just sleep in it. Just so I can save money on hotels.
So it's like, I know, right? So let's see. So in 11 days we have Thunderdome. Then 2 weeks after we have Greg's event, and then a Clash of Titans at Immokalee. Let's see, and I want to say 2 weeks later is 2 weeks later is Bone Strike. 2 weeks after that is.
I told you I'm going to be busy till the end of April. April, May. April, end of April. I won't be. Yeah. My wallet's going to be going, what the hell are you doing?
I know, right? And during this time, we're moving my mom into my house, so which is awesome. I mean, it's one of those positive things that needs to happen. You guys must go through 1 million BBs a year. I literally,
I want your mom to walk into the stream all the time.
That it's gonna be funny because my mom is gonna Star. I actually thought I was live and I walked away to go grab the batteries, and she was gonna grab a Hawaiian shirt that she thought I left on the dining room table and come jump in. I was like, well, we're not live yet. And then the dog evidently knocked his Hawaiian shirt, took the Loki likes taking things places. the new puppy, and she destroyed her dog bed for some reason today. I got to call them tomorrow. Smurf, it's on my to-do list. I'm sorry. The last 2 weeks have been hell trying to get things going. Okay. So, it's, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I had a great holiday.
Deadendoutfitters.com or
Deadendoutfitters.net, sir.
.net.
Deadendoutfitters.net. Reach out, talk to Greg. Make sure you know what you're getting, because what type of barrel length you need. And he could also make drop-in kits, I believe. I shouldn't speak for him. God, isn't it funny how we pitch his stuff and he's not even here?
I know. Jeez.
He's also fighting off the flu. I talked to him earlier today.
Sound like hell.
So I usually go through about a case of 3.2 tracer BBs about every 3 to 4 months.
Our guns are so accurate, we don't burn through that many BBs because of that D-hop.
Hold on. Greg's messaging me.
He's messaging privately? Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
deadendoutfitters.net. You guys can't get the thing.
Put it up.
I guess I should, huh?
See? Yep. Yeah, but no, I use HPA BBs. I usually 3.2s.
Yeah.
3.2
High-powered
HPAs,
airsoft.
And literally my gun is so much more accurate. Not because of BBs, but because of my setup.
Yeah. So a lot of people ask, what do I use for my guns? It's always HPA 0.32 tracer BBs.
Yep.
Yes, I use them at outdoor fields as well, because you never know when you're going to get to that dark area, and I want to make sure that my hits are caught on camera. Is one of the things that I like to do, and HPA makes a really damn good BB. I do use Titan batteries inside of my guns, so it really was something special when, it's one thing if it's like a customer service rep calling you, right? Because you figure Titan's a big company. You have the CEO of the company calling you, not only to talk to you about the issue and like, hey, we're going to resolve it. Here's 4 new batteries are on their way. I already would have them if it wasn't for, like weather stopping shit from moving. Except for the guy who's freaking semis like it. That's Tinker. So Tinker is our suppressive guy. So if you ever need like somebody to push a thing and
he's a skinny guy too, so he moves really fast.
He's fast, he's quick, and he keeps people held down. And if he sees this video, his head's probably going to get about yay big. I got to see if I could find the video. If you think that was fast, I could probably find the clip faster. At Overwatch 6, I had to help out with balance issues because Green was getting just their shit kicked in, and it's not even like it wasn't even like a little bit. They were getting kicked in so bad it wasn't even funny. We had all the control points, so I switched teams with and as the battle bus, I dropped 2 full groups of people onto Tinker's position, and the little bastard survived both waves. And give me 1 second here. Oh, Overwatch 6.
They got annihilated. Of course, I was the main TAN admin for that game.
Let's see here. Where is it? Oh, it's not here. You got to be kidding me.
What'd you lose?
I got the video.
The battle bus dumping everybody off and getting
No. Tinker pushing. There I found it. Never mind. Here, share screen, share audio, and of course the weirdness that is the video thing.
In! Go.
This the same prison we're going to be going to for Clash of Titans.
We got him on the left. I got him. Yeah, do we got any medics? Medic! One on that right doorway at the end of the corner. Watch it. Under the stairs! Under the stairs! Under the stairs!
That guy is like,
Push!
I am dead. All right. With that being said, if you say his name enough times, the man, the myth, the man of the
Booster
shortest
seat
stature,
king.
of biggest heart, Greg Paparisi from Dead End Outfitters. You're not allowed to talk about the D-Hop barrel.
I'm not on to talk about. No, I'm on because you were making me feel guilty. That's why I'm on.
God.
I just came back from being dead, so thank you for that. I had the flu, so but it's okay. I don't mind coughing on stream with you. It'll be all right.
We'll let you heck up alone. You're good.
Oh God. Yeah, I wasn't not even prepared. This is I don't even know. This is a weird angle. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, you're good.
Go ahead.
Paparisi from Dead End Outfitters. Everybody.
Thank you. Always thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
No, I knew I was going to get your goat when as soon as I say, how does the D-Hop work? You just pew far. Here's something funny, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. It was brought to my attention at one point that there's, I don't know how big the group, it's a small percentage, but even 0.5% matters to me, that feel that there's an arrogance behind the D-Hop, or like that it's not, it's not really something special, and it's overhyped and things like that. And you guys both know me. It was never about any of that. It's not about hyping it up as it is. It took 2 years for me to actually even talk about it. Like people would ask and I would answer. That's about it. On that note, I it's not about saying how great I am. I wanted to come out with a product that
Why
I
not?
could give
Mark
everybody
does it all the time.
at a lesser. I wanted to come out with something that cost less and did more. That's all I wanted. And little fairy dust, elven magic, whatever you want to call it. And I was able to figure something out that seems to work. And at some point, somebody's going to figure out the next one. It may not be me. But I want to put it to bed. I don't think great, fantastic. I don't think that the D-Hop is untouchable, anything like that at all. We have a guarantee. If you find a better one, I'll buy it for you. And that's just a challenge for me. That just means time to go to version 8.1.
And it's sort of the same thing that when, like, if people are saying, "Oh, it's arrogance," it's like there's a difference between saying being arrogant and knowing stuff works and standing behind a product, right? And we're inside of an industry where there is a hell of a lot of machismo, let a hell of a lot of arrogance on its own, and and the stuff that's there, just the funny aspect of just how worked up people can get over stupid shit, right?
Oh yeah.
And the hypocrisies that sometimes people come out with is also just fabulous for me. I love reading my YouTube comment sections. I'm not talking about chat. Chat's one thing here. We at least the chat here is somewhat funny and engaging. The YouTube comment section on the Airsoft videos is its whole nother level, where I think I'm just going to start doing reaction videos of people saying stupid shit on the things like, look at this guy thinking he's all top shit running a smoke out of a building. He made it worse. It's like, no, idiot. That's going to burn for another. That was a big smoke that would burn for another 2 minutes. I got it out of the building so we can actually play. How much does the D-Hop drop in? Depends on the size of the barrel.
Right. D-Hop started $110 up until 363 millimeter. After 363 it goes up. There's varying groups that go up by $5. It maxes out at and for a drop-in kit, which includes a
Hold on. Let me answer. Just don't
Hang
be
on.
like Weiner and crank up the.
No. Hang on. So there is an answer for that, but hang on. And listen, you guys know me well enough to know. By the way, there is a level that you can push to before somebody starts getting upset. I've been short my whole life. Being called short, that's one thing. Just the absolute persistence by some people, just for the sake of saying it, does get annoying after a while. So, and I will explain it. But the drop-in kit includes the base drop-in kit. Actually includes the Ditech Pro Win, and it is the drop-in. If I remember right, I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've sold one. Is one. I think it was 145. If I remember right, it was 145 for the drop-in, and that includes the barrel bucking nub and hop up complete and shipped. And then all you have to do is just drop it right in. But could it be? So the furthest I've shipped so far is Canada. I don't see why it couldn't be shipped to Ireland. I've never done it. I mean, I don't see any reason why people ship to and from Ireland from the U.S. and back, I imagine. So yeah, I don't see why not. Shipping may not be calculated properly on the website when you order, though. So I may have to come back and add shipping to it. But other than that, I don't see any reason why not.
Or come over and be on our
Custom-
show and we'll make sure you have one.
Customs forms are going to be a pain in the ass.
Well, for a barrel? And there's
No,
a barrel?
Ireland is
I mean, it's
Ireland.
nothing more than a metal tube.
Yep.
No, it's just the customs forms and everything else you have to fill out, and it's just a little bit of annoyance thing, and there's VAT taxes and all that other shit. Yeah, see, JB Airsoft knows what I know about having to deal with freaking the EU and shit.
So real quick in the PA question though. So keep in mind, for all intents and purposes, the D-Hop patch itself it's a compound. It's a rubberized compound. So will it work in PA in the cold? To a point, but the same as any bucking will. That's how you have to look at it. Buckings are rubberized compounds as well. The different degrees are different thicknesses and their ability to manage hot and cold weather. What all the teasing about to Weiner, he's not the only one, but all the teasing that Weiner gets in regards to this is did I just say Weiner teasing? I'm sorry. Damn it.
I'm so used to it, didn't even catch it. Sorry.
Right. It's been a while since I've been on here. And is because he was the first person really to see the effect of. So when you get a D-Hop, the biggest difference is you have to understand is minute changes to your hop up adjustment. When you adjust, you go from no hop to over hop in just a slight turn.
Like a quarter length of a turn, yes.
Right. It takes next to nothing, and all of a sudden you're over hopping. Because that's how viscous the patch is. So if you're not used to that, which Weiner wasn't, this was his first D-Hop. He wasn't used to that. We got to Pennsylvania. It was cold. Cold decreased the pressure of the air, so the BBs weren't shooting the way they were used to. It also decreases the viscosity of the patch because of the cold weather. It contracts. So those things combined, as he was trying to get hop to apply, you now have a brittle rubberized compound forcing an even harder, because the BBs are now harder because they're colder, across the plane of the patch, and it tore the patch. That was something that I had to learn about. I've had someone tear a patch, not in cold weather, but by doing the same thing. This is how we were able to decipher all that.
Yep.
Yeah. So the bottom line, all teasing aside, Weiner was not at fault. I never had a chance to test in these environments. Now I know. So there's the that's the backstory behind it. Will it work in Pennsylvania? It'll work just as well, if not better, than a regular bucking will. You just
And
What's
have
up,
just
to
so
Mr.
you
pay.
know,
Walker?
the customer service for the D-Hop was fucking awesome.
Hey,
Thank you. I
language.
appreciate that. There is a lifetime warranty on D-Hop patch barrels. So if you ever have a problem with it,
So
Hey, CRISPR, was that CRISPR?
CRISPR,
Yeah,
what's up, baby?
I
That's
just
like-
noticed he was on there. What's up, bitches?
more no
Walker,
smoking
sir.
signs. Yeah, it's always great whenever Greg comes on and we're able to have him on for a little bit to talk. I do want to thank him for a couple things. One, for being a friend. The most important factor of all. Thanks for that. But
Well, you pay him well, so
Now,
you better be a friend. Then he gets popped.
two, I want to thank you for this. You're right. This thing is snappy. The Vorpal Bunny.
I'm trying. It took me a second. I had to move the phone around. The action on both the Vorpal Bunny and the AM45, which is the same gun just in black. Amazing. The action on it is absolutely amazing. It's so crisp. Not something you would expect from that gun.
I was gonna use it last week, but we didn't go. I didn't play last week. Took the week off because I had a whole bunch of shit to do all of a sudden. Funny how life changed. All of a sudden, Mom says, "Yeah, I'm moving in with you."
Yes, I know. I'm living it.
And it's like, oh yeah, construction. So in construction, you find termites. Oh shit! Then you find out just how janky. Well, it's not really janky because not for nothing.
It
It,
did fall
it
on
took
you.
me. It took me all week to literally bash down the wall that separated the airsoft room from the airsoft room from the sunroom, and just the level of the impressiveness of how rigged this thing was and how well it held up is unreal. But I'm going to use it tomorrow. I'm going to be out there with the Vorpal Bunny shooting people tomorrow. The only downside is like this thing does take I think high kappa parts, right?
So there are some high cap parts that it can take. Yes, it is technically. I think a high cap. I think it's a 3.8. Is that what that is?
Well,
I think technically.
I need this to be able to support a tracer. That's the only.
Yeah. And I'll say to you, like I said to somebody else who bought one, you got the pink one. Buy the black one and do it with that. You have to replace the entire barrel. It's not threaded. You got to replace the entire barrel. And
Give me a
to
second.
replace the entire barrel changes the gun. But that's my
What's
opinion
that?
on collector's items. We can still hear you,
Yes,
Weiner.
I'm on a live feed. What's up?
Video off does not turn mic off. But that's okay.
That's okay. I can mute them. No, it's like, I mean, there's really no real space. I guess you could put something down here because there's like a place to put an extra rail piece so you can put a light on there. But I am going to run it for at least one game tomorrow. You know me. I like
You're
playing
going to be happy with it. Yeah, you're going to be very happy with it, I promise.
Well, wait, hold on. If only I had a video of me doing it. I'm confused. This is the Vorpal Bunny. No need to be confused. Who do you guys get to work in your AEGs?
What happened?
Who do you guys get to work in your AEGs? That guy right there. Dead End Outfitters.
Yeah, I don't touch AEGs anymore.
He's got like 8 of my guns there. Yeah, we can hear you just fine, Weiner, by the
They're
way.
being
Oh,
held
you can
hostage.
hear me fine now?
Yeah.
It's not echoing?
No, we could hear
We
you
heard you
just
fine
fine.
before,
So
too.
Oh, when he's yelling at mom? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. But yeah, if there's only a way to show just how much joy I had when I opened this thing up.
Ooh, that's pretty sweet. Snappy.
Snapper.
And I don't want to toot my own horn about customer service, but I did drive it all the way down to hand deliver. Just saying.
Hold on. We're going to go buy a car anyway, sir.
Just because I happen to be in the area doesn't mean anything.
But thank you for delivery. This was like one of the cool Christmas gifts I got. It was a great Christmas gift I was allowed to get. Now,
get the
the
box
bad
of enemas
Christmas
I sent
gift,
you?
huh?
I said you get the box of enemas I sent
No, not yet.
you? Okay.
So this was another cool gift I got.
No, I thought you were sending that back.
No, this is the Nerf one.
Oh, okay.
It makes the sound when you shoot. It's
Jeez.
Oh my God.
look. I have simple pleasures, sir.
That's
Apparently
This is one of
so.
them. Oh, there we go. It has the countdown timer and everything, but the batteries are not doing too good. Oh, because there's a jam in it. That's why. There we go.
That was a long time ago.
No, I love this thing. No, I did get the. I talked about it earlier in the stream where I got the Matrix one that was sent, and what a piece of garbage. We were talking about it during the Trent conversation. Because I'm wanting to get an AEG built, want to know a good place. Contact deadendoutfitters.net. Greg will put you in Papa will
Yeah,
put you
he'll
in the
hook
right
you up
spot.
right. Yes, he will.
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is I wasn't coming on here, but you both will appreciate this. I made Bulldog giggle and do a little dance today. And normally he looks at all the orders that come in before they come in, so he knows what's coming. And I put an order in and didn't tell him what I put on it. So when it came in, there were 4 new receivers, all different ones, but 4 new receivers, all mil spec. So they all have a threaded rear opening. And he opens them, his eyes get wide, he starts giggling. I said, it's time for me to start building again. So all of the guns that I've been promising for now going on 3 years, I think is where we're at, will all be done, plus new ones in the works. I'm tired. I'm tired. All in all, tired of just the mundane, and I want to get back to the whole reason why we started doing this in the first place, and that's just to have some fun, build some neat stuff. We got the event coming up and all that, and that's great. I love being able to do that. We're trying to get the new field up and running. I have another meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with the developers, and hopefully we find the right land. That's been tough. For those of you that think that you should just open a field anywhere, let me tell you something. Not that easy. Not quite that easy. Yeah, I just got quoted one place. We turned this one down, just so you know. But I got quoted. What was this one? Lease on this one was the first quote was $198,000 a month. But so we turned that one down right away. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of work to be done, but we're working on it. I do have a neat project that I started kind of on the side. This is what spurred me into getting back into everything. You guys know what the FPG is, right? The back when Magpul made their folding pocket gun.
Oh, okay.
It was based off the 18C.
Looks like a briefcase.
Yeah, and it folds up, and then you hit the button, and it opens up. It's SMG. Well, they don't make it anymore. KWA doesn't make it anymore. Nobody makes it anymore. So I started doing some drawing, some 3D rendering, and things like that, and have decided to make the FPG the folding Papa gun.
Nice.
And got to keep the trademark away, right? and I'm doing it based on the VFC Glock 18C. So it's actually going to be a kit you can buy, or it'll be a completed gun with the Glock 18C in it. So these are some of the things that I really wanted to get. Out there. I just think it's fun. I don't. You guys know how I feel about the business of airsoft. It's annoying. I just want to take care of the community and build guns, man. That's really it.
And wow, bud.
What? Adam?
Damien yelling at Modern Warfare 2.
Oh,
So I'm now also getting in trouble because I thought somebody was so I don't know if you guys get this a lot, but evidently with
Starseed.
all the people I know, I get a lot of messages from time to time from sex bots. These companies that they are a fake name, like usually 2 first names, whatever, and they come in and they start asking questions, then they try to get you to go inside of a like a live stream chat or whatever. And usually it's 2 first names, and it's usually like somebody I don't know. They have very few people. Well, everybody.
Is that what's going on right now?
That's what was going on right now, and now I know exactly who it is. It squeaks because the messages, like they sent me a message just after I got to go. They go hi. I go the fuck because it happened at like 1:27 a.m. They go hi again. I said leave me alone sleeping. New phone. Who this? And they go squeak squeak. And obviously I didn't know who the hell, but now I know who it is. So I was like, okay. You're not a sex bot, so I'm getting sort of shit from it.
oh God.
Now I know exactly who it is.
Tubbs?
No, Tubbs knows who it is. It's the Squeaker. It's Squeaker.
Okay.
But it was just hilarious. So yes, sir. Thank you for coming on. I always like seeing you in the new year.
Oh, my pleasure.
Obviously, we talked about your D-hop barrel enough to where
No,
you're
yeah,
going
exactly.
stomach.
You should have a lot of people come to the website too.
Remind me, Greg, as soon as we end this, I got to show you something.
Okay.
So, with all that being said, there was a point I was going to try to make, and I just broke my own cursing rule. 1 hour 56 minutes. Cool.
One. I mean, if I can throw one last shameless plug out there.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Sure, go right ahead.
Just Clash of the Titans. February 3rd to the 5th.
About that.
I don't. Your cadence sounded like you were getting ready to kick me off.
No. That was something I have to show you, so I said remind me so I can show it to you, so you know what I'm talking about. No, because we're going to start talking about events now. Obviously, we have Thunderdome next in 11 days, but
I'm looking
Clash
forward
of
to
Titans,
it.
you're here, you're on, and I know Weiner and I are both looking forward to that event. We're getting the gun truck nice and ready.
Remember, I'll be watching you direct. I'm actually going to be on the field this time.
You
as
get the
an
gun truck
admin.
nice and ready for Thunderdome?
No. I
Would
mean,
you drive the truck to the middle of the mall?
hey, it's a decommissioned mall, man.
Yeah, I know. I was just in one in St. Louis, a decommissioned mall. Or actually, it wasn't. There was like shops every other 10 shops. So it's one of those malls that's getting ready to collapse on itself. I was walking through and I go, I'm going to be playing in almost like this exact mall in a few weeks. I was loving it. They squeak as around.
No, we're getting the gun truck ready for the event. Hopefully, we might even have the battle bug up and running.
Oh wow! Okay.
We're working on it. Brainer's coming down for the event.
Yes, he is. I talked to him.
Sweet.
Couple of quick announcements. The number of sponsors keeps going up. I'm getting ready to release the next sponsor banner. Actually, we got to publish it on the event page and release it again. I released a sponsor video before, which I thought was pretty cool. I like to let the sponsors know that we appreciate them. We just got Hefe Airsoft from down in your neck of the woods.
Yep, he's having an event this weekend. I can't go to it, unfortunately. I was going to talk about that one as well.
We have, I don't know if you saw, we do actually have EVIC. They're sponsoring it. We have Lancer Tactical is sponsoring it. I just got, oh my gosh, who else? All of the sponsors. I mean, there's TCA's in there, Junkies is in there. I got, I'm just going to forget so many people because it's not right in front of me. Black Tiger Airsoft is actually sponsoring it. Danny I talked to Dan. He's actually sponsored. He's going to be a vendor there. Lori Watson's going to be a vendor. We got. I was in talks with I'm sorry, Tampa.
Oh, the Tampa Speed.
The Tampa Indoor. Yep. CIA.
CIA. Yeah.
Yep. I was in touch with them. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it or not. But just so many companies looking to support, which is fantastic. Which means, if nothing else, what does that mean? It means a huge, awesome raffle. Let's just right there. I mean, this is just right there. I got to tell you, if nothing else, and obviously they should, but Evix stepped way up with their like. I want to keep their raffle items. that's how much they stepped up. They did. They absolutely did a fantastic job. I can't thank them enough. But all the major sponsors. HPA obviously is our the vendor BB or the event BB. They are a sponsored BB. They'll be doing for our chrono and all that, and we'll be carrying them solely at our table. We're really looking forward. The other announcement is that I know I've been threatening people a lot, and I changed my mind. I was coerced into changing my mind, but we originally said that early tickets would be discounted. Late tickets are discounted too. We decided not to raise the price.
Yeah, all right.
I just, I mean, for me, again, some of the business decisions are not easy for me because I look at it as Airsoft first. I always have. So when the business side comes around, I'm like, I think this is what it should be. I look at everything else around me. I'm like, well, that price looks about right, so I just choose it. And then give me enough time. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, I just don't care. Obviously, I don't. I want to do more than break even. This is, my time and my people's time is all valuable, obviously. So it's business on that aspect. Want to do more than break even, but I certainly don't want to come out of pocket for it. So there has to be that cost balance. But some of the things we've added that we haven't even shown all the way yet. We just did put a video out, and I want to say this publicly. Chris Pepin, who was from the former Doomsday Airsoft, had made a comment and said that a lot of the footage in the video was from Doomsday events, and absolutely was. There's more video from Doomsday events at that location than probably all other events that have been there combined. Doomsday did 6 events there. And if it wasn't for Doomsday, and Weiner, this obviously being with Doomsday, if it wasn't for Doomsday, we probably wouldn't have this AO. And I've never not said that. I've always thanked Doomsday for opening that up, and especially in the South Florida area, giving us paving that way. It's unfortunate that Doomsday disbanded, and all I'm trying to do is just kind of close the gap a little bit for us down here. Keeping events going like that, at this AO, people love this AO. They want to play there. So I'm just doing the best I can to add that. And then we're adding our flavor to it. We're doing the mobile aid stations. We're doing the portable cover, deployable cover. There's utility deployments. There's roaming CAS evacs. Everybody get the utility vehicles, all that. So we're trying to add more. But one of the big things that we did add is Josh Delmonico from CQC, who runs the area down there, has provided us all new, and these are completely redone. And I wish I had the videos queued up and I could show them to you. You'll see them coming up. But all the shoot houses are completely renovated, and we are using non-toxic smoke inside the shoot houses at different gradients. So some will be kind of hazy and you make your way through the whole thing. Some are clear to just pitch black. And that's the entire, what used to be the ISO camp. It's now called the Villages. That's all those shoot houses there. He's enabled all those for us. And he's got a lot of, they're a sponsor as well, by the way, CQC. They've done he's done a fantastic job providing us with that, so we can give that to you guys. We just keep trying to pile more and more things on. Right now if we stop now, I think it would be just an over the top event, and we're still trying to come up with more things.
Yeah. And it's awesome. Like, there's awesome how much cool stuff's coming out. Evidently, we're going to see you at a couple other events. So
Yep.
Let's see here. We have it's Operation Clean House is going to be Hefe's event this weekend at Extreme Rage Paintball Field, which is in my neck of the woods. Unfortunately, I'm not able to go. I I already told Hefe that I got stuff to do. I'm going to see how many other guys go.
Toucan will be down there representing us. We're sponsoring the event.
Cool. Then we're going to be Thunderdome is going to be at a mall. That's going to be awesome. We're going to see you there.
Yeah.
We're going to see you obviously at your event. Are you going to Bone Strike or no?
I'm not. I won't be able to. Don't shit.
So sad.
Listen, I'm doing the best I can, man. I'm doing the best I can.
But you're going to Stonebreaker though, right?
If my job was to go around the country playing airsoft events, making content, then I would absolutely be there.
But you're going to Stonebreaker, right?
I'm not sure. I probably will. Not 100% sure, but I probably will.
Okay. And then you're coming up to Syndicate 3, right?
We talked about that. You and I talked about that.
I'm sad. But
yeah. It's gonna be. I think 2023 is gonna be an awesome time. We're gonna rock a lot of cool stuff out. There's a lot of changes stuff happening here. I think good things are gonna come. I'm hoping only good things come for 2023. So far, things are starting off the right foot. And we have a whole bunch of new people that we haven't seen inside the chat before, which was also kind of awesome. Hello, King Bob.
Yeah.
Blazing Burns. And we're getting a lot of that repeat stuff going down. I will be putting up sometime my honest reaction to what happened with the Colonial Marines pulse rifle from Matrix. That was just, God, that gun was horrible. 10 shots, it dies. And I mean, on top of that, just trying to put the mag in. Like, a real smart aspect of it was, obviously I don't have it here anymore, but there's a plate like this one that was on it. Well, instead of having an M4, it was like a 9mm mag. The plate comes off the mag, and the bottom is a high cap spin wheel. So in order to cycle the gun, you have to take the plate off, crank, put the plate back on, shoot, take it off, crank, shoot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was like, I'm like, oh my God. But it didn't matter because it didn't even get through to the point where he had to take it off to crank it up before it stopped shooting.
Hey, Mark, did you fail math or something in school?
Why?
It's 17 days to Thunderdome.
I thought it was the 14th.
There you go.
No, it's the 20th.
In there.
Oh,
yeah, it's the
20th. Whatever.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
I hope everybody knows that.
I knew I had.
I'm glad I have an extra weekend. How about that?
Go.
Okay.
See,
yeah, Weiner picked me up from the airport.
I'm checking out that weekend. The weekend before.
Okay, that's good because I have that's I got an extra weekend. Yay!
Yep.
I get to move mom around more.
We're gonna check out a field down here that's over here in Brevard County, and there's a group of us going to be going over there on that either Saturday or Sunday. I don't know which day it is that weekend.
Of the 14th.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Where are you at, Travis? Selects all the major events. He's in Arkansas. Well, look, Travis, I can tell you this right now, man. I drive from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, all the way up to Pennsylvania for Syndicate for all the PA games at the prison. Worth the drive. I've driven all the way from Fort Lauderdale to Bristol, Wisconsin.
Yes, you did.
Wait a minute. You weren't the only one. Wait, No, I didn't drive all the way to Wisconsin with you.
No, you didn't.
No.
go to Wisconsin. Well, you flew in. We all flew in, didn't we?
I flew in. That's right. Yep.
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 Mark
Yep.
Yeah.
took all our stuff.
Because you
all
were
our
picked
stuff
up by,
drove all the
by
way
he
up
that
there.
shall not be named.
No. Yes. Yeah. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Travis, listen, but it's worth the trip. And I actually explained this to someone who was visiting from Connecticut, came in the shop today and bought something, and they were wondering about getting it back home. We explained to them emphatically, they're toys. They can be packed in your luggage. You don't have to declare them. I do when I pack my stuff, just so that I also separate the upper from the lower and things like that. But you don't have to declare it. You can put it in your baggage. You can ship it out. Not a problem. The only thing you can't ship is an air tank.
Yep. You can ship it, but you have to break it apart.
Really?
Yeah. You take the you got to take the valve off it.
Oh, no kid. I didn't know. I didn't know. So
Yeah, found that out when we went and played in Texas.
Oh wow, yeah. I tried to ship mine. And they held mine. They just held on to mine. They didn't say a word about it.
We went to Fort Hood. That was awesome.
Yep.
I want to go do that
I
again.
remember that was a good time. Yep.
Starburst. We need to do a group of thing like that again.
I agree.
Or Pennsylvania.
Definitely agree.
Blackwater.
Hold on.
Come on, man. That was a good time.
I am. That's why I got my hat right here. I look at it every time. I want to do it again.
Blackwater was a good time, man.
I got my shirt all nice and pressed in my closet too.
Are you guys? Who's running? You guys all running DEA? Who's running cartel?
DEA.
You're DEA.
I know.
You're cartel, right?
Dark Horse.
No, I'm DEA.
You DEA also? Okay, good.
We're tan, yeah.
Did you guys get your jackets or no? Not wearing them.
No.
Yeah, I was told.
Oh, DEA.
I was told originally that it was mandatory that the jackets were that you had to wear the blue DEA jacket. So I ordered one for me and one for Bulldog, and then there was clarification made that it's not mandatory. It's like shit. Now I got it. So.
I want to find a patch that says DEA. Big patch.
You can get it right on Amazon.
You can?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're usually black. You can't get them in tan.
No, they get. I see them in all the.
I got a blue jacket. Yeah, I got a blue jacket with yellow DEA across the back. It's just a windbreaker. So
it was one of those things where at Mayhem Mill, the first one where they had that, where you had them on the tan team, and the only thing you can see is like bluish colored. You saw blue jeans or whatever. I can't tell you how many times they got team killed. I can't tell you how many times I team killed them because it was so hard to identify who they were.
Wait till you see who you're up against, though, for the DEA. It's not just anybody.
Yeah. Oh no, I know who it is.
Yeah,
I know who it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. Have some fun with that.
It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, have some fun. Have some fun with that smack talk.
I'm actually doing something I haven't done. Almost. I mean, it's been so long. I took some time and some off time, and I'm building my gun. I finally ordered myself a gun I wanted probably for however long. I ordered a from factory HPA Evo Scorpion.
Hey, Greg, can you check private chat real quick? Because I want to look something up.
Yeah, I think
because I know you know how to spell it. I don't. I always screw it up.
Son of a bitch. Hang on.
No, it's private chat. Private chat.
Private chat.
I'm looking in the private chat. Yeah. Oh, there. Oh shit. Okay. Hang on. Yeah, that I could do.
Let's see if it's really going to be a Happy New Year. Yeah, Tubbs does some great. He's a great Uber pickup driver for Syndicate. Travis, fly into Pittsburgh.
So what did I say? Oh yeah. So I Evo Scorpion HPA from factory, and it's actually sitting stripped right now. I put every part you can order for one of those. I actually ordered for myself. So the new hop up, the ATAC, everything. It's got a D hop in it. and should be done tomorrow morning. And I'm actually going to run that. For me, not me. But this is one I'm actually looking forward to. I thought I was going to miss it, and Christopher got a hold of me. We had a chat, and it only took 3 different lengthy hops for him to locate a ticket for me. So, but
Yeah,
he's
timing
worth it.
was impeccable on that, by the way.
With that, oh,
Am I reading Senior Life? Yeah, I got the AARP magazine out. Yeah, it's no longer the blue pill.
cartel, not gonna happen.
Ah,
I'm
we
looking
won't have an
forward
answer
to it.
until next month.
Yeah, this is. I mean, it's going to be a great time. And it does. I mean, going to this, it doesn't leave me a lot of time. The remaining time to get ready for Clash.
Evidently, you
but,
have more than 11 days.
It's this is the crunch time. We got 32 days right now until Clash, and it's this is and Weiner, you're familiar, Joker, you're familiar with it. This is the time where you start getting just start yanking the hair out, and hoping that everything's in place, and that everything you've set up for. And the logistics are ridiculous. Lining up, between 3 and 5 U-Haul trailers, making sure everything else is good to go. Just trying to line everything you possibly can up to make sure that every contingency is taken care of.
Are we driving one, or am I? You know what I'm doing yet?
Let's talk.
All
Right. We've got more than enough refs. So I mean, that's going to be that part's going to be awesome. And we got the JTF mission, which is something I left out when we were just talking. I don't know. Really, Fallon's bringing the whole team, and he's bringing the Thunder. It's the JTF missions are obviously they're going to be off the hook. They're amazing when they're done at the prison, and this is not going to be any exception. So if you've never done one, go on and get those tickets. We're going to open up a second day. Right now it's only Friday, but we're going to open up for Saturday as well. And we will not, I will say this publicly, we will not have a chopper. There will be no chopper. Yes.
I think that's a wise choice.
To
be honest,
I know
with you,
that some
really
people think it's cool.
You're right, but
I want to hear both you. Weiner has the experience of it from running an event like at running with Doomsday, who basically invented that piece, and Joker from your aspect of being there and being part of it. But I want to hear you guys first before I say anything.
What's that about having it?
Oh no, that's stop it. Stop it.
Was that from Virtue?
Oh, that was from Virtue. Oh no. Yes, I will. Right up until the day before. Right up until the day before the event, and we're gonna get him canceled.
So what do you want to?
My
You asked
stance
about the
is-
chopper. Good.
So my stance is like you guys are doing this big event. You have all this stuff that's going on. I don't think you've done an event of this scale before. Throwing a chopper into the mix, I just think is a bad idea from a logistical side and all that. Plus, it's your next step after that. Like if you jump into it with all this cool shit and you throw the chopper, where do you go from there?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing that is the cost of it too. I mean, you got the fuel costs right now are ridiculous for everything. It's an awesome thing to have. Like I said, down the road, maybe it's something you have down there. But right now, get this one under your belt, feel comfortable with it, and then move on to the next logistical nightmare. It will be.
Well, when we did North vs. South 3, we had 297 players. So I mean, it wasn't a small event, but it wasn't as big as this is, and we actually were using essentially half the field. You know, we were only using the prison, which is all that's been used for the past 4 years. There is just the prison area. You know, we have
Except when we did
either
ours
side of that open
years
as
ago.
well. We're doing the entire AO, 1,200 acres. And yeah, the last people to do that was Doomsday. So, you know, for me, that is a big deal. The having the chopper, it, it's novelty, which is cool. If some people want that novelty, awesome, great. But asking people to basically pay the same amount for the price of the ticket for 5 minutes worth of novelty. Unless I get a high demand for it next time, unless people are like, hey, you got to have it. Because in order to do that, I have to be able to sell, I think it was like a total of like 80 blocks of time for the chopper in order just to pay for the chopper. It was something like
Yeah.
that. And that is a lot of asking a lot of people to spend almost $200 for 5 minutes. I have a hard time
It
with
should
that.
be 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a little
Well,
longer, but yes, but no, I completely understand.
Well,
that. I mean, it was,
your flight time is like 5 minutes.
No, mine was the ones. Well, let me rephrase. The one I did at TCA and at the other were 15-minute flight.
Well, are they? I thought it was. I know
Even
it's the
still,
getting to, the taking off, the flying, all that. But even 15 minutes, yes.
It's and let's look. They're fun. It's an awesome experience. But the other thing too is when that thing goes up in the air and people see it coming, people run into buildings.
Right.
So, you know, it's great that you're shooting for people from above. Sometimes you catch some people out in the open, but you really don't. What you need places that have a lot of need for people to be moving out in the open, and the helicopter to just come around a building that they can't hear. That works so well at GTI because a lot of times they just can't hear the chopper coming around because of the way that the sound goes. Nobody knows where the chopper is. It sounds like it's always up in the air, so people just ignore it and get used to it. Whereas at Force Center, there's nothing to break up the sound or anything else, and you can see that thing coming. You're like, oh, I'm going inside now. But I think it's the right call. Like I said the same thing to Weiner when there was discussion that AT was going to have it. I was like, that's at the Griffin Center. And I was like, I don't think you should do it. I think you should wait, get the events underneath your, get the things underneath your belt, and you know, before bringing on something like that. Sure, it's a cool factor, but you know, it's one of those cool factors. I don't think there's a huge amount of drive with as much logistical stuff that you have to put into it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I mean, I didn't really hear anybody complain about us not having it, but
I don't think you will. So that was just my thoughts on it. Like people are asking, why don't you have helicopters up at for Syndicate stuff like that? I was like, one, because we need to find a pilot up there.
Yeah.
Two, it's too much logistics for us to have to deal with. Like way too much logistics, and I don't want to have to go through and doing with it.
Yeah, part of your parking and stuff too.
And a lot of people are going to be inside buildings. You're not going to have targets to shoot at.
Yep.
Sorry, but JTF missions, on the other hand, that's a different story. You know, people can experience the hell out of them. Like we're going to have JTF missions up at Syndicate 3. So if you guys haven't been up there, no, Tubbs, they could take over the baseball field for place to land. I mean, there's places that we can have set up that they can land, and they can do all that. We have fields that they can do it in, but we just don't want to have to go through that headache, essentially.
Right, and I mean, and it's a logistical nightmare. The amount of people you have to add to the staff just to make sure everything goes smooth. You have to add
competent people with experience.
Competent people, yeah.
That's the big factor. You know, I mean, I saw a couple of videos of a couple of other locations where it was like, I'm sitting there going, holy crap, how did that dude not lose his hands? You know, and you know, they tell you how to walk in front of and not where to walk in front of I was like, Jeebus, man. No, thank you. It's like each time I see it, it's like, would it be cool? Absolutely. Would I ever want it for an event of ours? Absolutely not.
Right.
Just not worth it. So tickets are up for Clash at deadendoutfitters.net.
Yep.
Get your tickets now. Syndicate 3 tickets are up for sale. You can go to obhmilsom.com and get your Syndicate 3 tickets. We do have some JTF missions still available, so jump on them. Tickets are going fast for that as well, and we're about to kick off our sales and all that now that the holidays are over. So we highly recommend if you're looking at either one of these events to jump on them quickly because they'll go pretty quick. And other than that, any other big announcements?
Any other big announcements?
I don't think there's too much. I mean, I do want to thank again Dee for the Franken shirt because it's literally all of. She didn't make it. Amazon did this, but it's like all the colors from all the shirts that I currently have are like onto this thing. So
That's funny.
Shout me out, please. SAFC 138.
There's your shout out. Whoop, whoop. We're almost at 50,000 followers on YouTube. 48,100 and hold on.
Don't forget to spay and neuter your kids.
48,300. So in the last hour, we gained another 120 followers at this.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's all because you came back. Yep, that's it.
Hey, look, man. I didn't want to say it. You did.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. In February, we're gonna be having another charity live stream. And it's the start of the new year.
That's for your sex change finally.
What's that? What did he say?
I heard them, and I'm not going to repeat them.
That's for a sex change finally.
Oh God. Okay.
No, it's a new year, so
Congratulations.
that means $26,000 hole that we have to dig out of for the gene therapy for Damien.
$26,000 hole you have to get.
26.
That sounds like sex change to me.
Yeah, not the right price.
But
if you don't wear the dress again, I'm not coming.
I'll put the dress on just for you, Stu. Are they magic cookies through Captain Tubbs? So we'll be doing another raffle. We got a whole bunch of stuff that we're already starting to collect for the raffle. So we'll be announcing it. Probably it's going to be after. It's probably going to be. It's definitely going to be after Bone Strike, I think. Yeah, I don't want to kill myself before Bone Strike. Oh no, shit! Bone Strike's the 24th, isn't it?
You used to be pretty good at keeping your calendar.
I haven't. You know what the funny thing is I actually haven't updated the calendar yet. Is the funny thing is I haven't put it in there to go through. The Bone Strike is the 17th of that. Oh yeah, so I was right. Okay. It's going to be after Bone Strike, and it's going to be February 22nd through the 23rd. We're doing a 12-hour live stream, not a 24. 24 sucked ass.
Tell us how you really feel.
Shit. Huh?
So tell us how you really feel.
That one sucked, dude. I mean, the 24-hour one, I was on fumes, and we always have between like 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. dead air. Like, not dead air, but nobody's really on. There's nobody to interact with, and I'm just
Right. Oh.
cracking. So we'll have some cool stuff to raffle off. We'll have a few guns to raffle off. We're going to be raffling off a nice featherweight M249. I might even be able to be raffling off that Crytek P90. Hey, Tub. So yeah, we're gonna be doing some cool shit. So come check in for that because we have a pretty big nut to crack, like we have to do every single year now moving forward for Damien's gene therapy medication. At least the price did not increase, is the good thing. It stayed the same, so we don't have to go higher.
Yeah, that is good.
$26,592. Just a little bit, right? Just a titch.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. I'll buy it. So you can just don't. You can donate the money. Well, how we typically do is we do raffle tickets and everything else, and we raffle it off. So once we hit the amount that it is, we have a couple of cool things that are going to be raffled off. So that's one of them. The P90 is probably going to be one of them. There might be an LMG up on well, there's going to be one LMG for sure. Some other cool stuff like the barrel lock from Ben. I like this thing. I just wish that this had a tracer unit in it. That's the only thing that this thing needs. Have you seen this, Greg?
What is it?
So it's a mock suppressor that goes on the front of the barrel, right? There.
Barrel of, yeah.
Of a gun.
Any gun? Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
All right.
Now it's a barrel lock. Now it's a barrel sock.
Oh.
You can't shoot through it. So.
Okay.
Safe. Not safe. Safe.
That's for you. I don't.
Not safe. Safe.
Don't need one.
So it's a cool little mock suppressor. Other than that, I think tonight's a good ending point. We had a pretty good night, a lot of good stuff that come down the line. We're looking forward to 2020, for 2023, all the cool events that's going to go on. Weiner and I are going to be trailing all over the place, and I'll try to set up another one where we could do it like that, another road trip, maybe Colony Wars again or something. Greg.
Well, yeah, we'll go far north during the summer months.
That's what he said earlier. You said, "Yeah, we got to do that again." It was a great time.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Greg.
That's what
That's
what I meant.
he's got to worry about too.
No, I'm trying to get out there. I mean, there's again, not exaggerating. I mean, you know everything that's going on. Just trying to get all this up and running, and trying to get the field back in place for there's a giant void right now in the area for play. A void that was filled for a long time, and now it's there. So I'm really working hard to take care of that, and it's draining, man. It's hard.
Have you made gone out to the field? The one by chance gone out there and walked around with
the old one?
The one the one out the island.
So John went out a little bit ago. I mean, you're still traveling to and on the island itself is you're not. It's the island, Matlacha, Pine Island itself. All that is still just destroyed.
Just destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, and so, but it was the field itself was literally not just covered by water; it was underwater. Like if you were to if you could have been standing on the field at the time it happened, you would have been underwater. That's how covered in water it was. Yeah, it was pretty, it was pretty intense. That's why we call it destroyed. It's to get back on it, do it. It's, I mean, not gonna happen.
Stu.
What happened?
Yes, I mentioned raffle, and Brainerd showed back up.
All right. Are we closing up?
We're gonna be closing up here, guys. I cannot wait to see what 2023 brings. We will be. Oh shit! I'll do that next week. The announcements of the some of our best list of 2023 or 2022, like best field, best producer, best shop, stuff like that. For 2023. Yeah. We'll do it next week.
Is that Joker's list, or is this the one that we had to vote on?
It's my list. It's players wanted list. Damn it!
I got you. I'm just checking. I didn't know. I didn't know.
I don't think you disagree with some of the stuff I'm going to say there, though, Weiner. So, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank all of our fans that have watched us throughout the years. In literally 6 days marks 4 years since I started the channel. Since the first time I actually
4
used
years.
it.
Wow.
4 years. Yeah. January
The
9th.
old From the Barracks with
From the Barracks started
Batteries.
2 years ago. That started, I want to say it was April of 2020 is when that started. I'm saying the channel as a whole, me first shooting Airsoft and everything else was January 9th, 2019.
Jeez.
So you all have, aspired me to be a better player and everything else, and aspired new heights. So 2022 is gone. It's done. We're on to 2023, better, bigger, and better things. So with that being said,
And then Stu
and then you
along.
came around, Stu. Yeah. I'm joking for Players Wanted. With me is the man, the myth, the legend, the man of the shortest height but biggest heart, Greg Paparisi from Dead End Outfitters. And it's not a party till the Weiner comes out. Weiner from Hot Dog Productions. Until next time, may your BBs fly true and your opponents always call your hits.